Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They've got him. It's a six.
Sixers.
Oh, baby.
And Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Babe, we just got LeBron. That is what President of Basketball Operations Mike Ganzi told ESPN when he found out the news LeBron James was coming to Philadelphia. He said it to his wife, and honestly, I would have said the same thing. But I have no wife. I have no babe. But I would have said the exact same thing, and I'm sure that phrase is going to be on T-shirts up and down the Jersey Shore boardwalks. I am Nick Earnshaw, filling in for Mike Gill today. We are live from Vetnor Social for a Phillies watch party. 6-3 is the score at the moment. 2 runners on. Jesus Luzardo on the mound. I am with our guy, Cheap Seats Pete. What's up, Cheap Seats Pete?
We need Luzardo to just empty the tank right now, man. He's dangerously close to letting this game slip away right now.
It is. It's 6-3. 2 runners on,
Here
1
comes
out.
Caleb Cotham.
Yep. We'll talk about the Phils later on in the program, but an article in ESPN came out earlier today titled Inside LeBron James's Decision to Join the Philadelphia 76ers. And it was a wide-ranging article, a bunch of nuggets in there throughout the entirety of the article. And just going through it, Pete, I mean, we're still in shock that LeBron James chose the Sixers. I mean, this really came out of nowhere. And I made some notes throughout this article. Dave McMenamin did an absolutely outstanding job running through this whole thing. And that's where that quote comes from in Mike Ganzi. So all in all, it was interesting. And there was a couple of nuggets that it went down to 5 teams, PG. All right. 5 total teams is how many teams were left in the mix. 27 conversations is what Rich Paul said he had. And the Sixers, the Cavs, the Miami Heat, the Golden State Warriors, and Minnesota Timberwolves were the final 5. And nobody knew what his decision was until 1 a.m. the night before it was announced on that Thursday heading into that Friday. So a lot to get into because Rich Paul also went on his podcast, and we'll talk about that as well. And Max Kellerman, Shams Charania was the guest on the podcast, but there was a group chat started. I don't know if you saw this part of the article, Pete.
I was not invited on that group chat.
No, I was not on it either. Rich Paul started a group text with Josh Harris, David Blitzer, Bob Myers, Jameer Nelson, Tyrese Maxey, on. And the text read, "Congrats, the Sixers, it is." That is how it happened. That is how your Sixers brass found out that this had happened. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be one of the most exciting seasons I've ever seen. You and I, Pete, were talking about this prior to the show beginning. How much is it going to cost for that opening night? Now, I tend to believe they're going to open it up in New York. They're going to have to watch the banner go up, etc., and then come home for the home opener. But, man, the whole article just explaining how this all went down, it was very last second, and LeBron really couldn't choose his team until the last minute. I thought it was fascinating.
And they really broke it down as far as those 5 teams you mentioned, the pros and the cons. And the Sixers really had all of the pros versus they talked about going back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be the same as when he went back before. It just wouldn't be the same. Different team, different coach, all that. And going back to Miami, same deal. So Philadelphia really gave him the best of both worlds of being happy, which was a priority, and also competing for a championship. Those two things went hand in hand, I think.
They absolutely did. And, another factor in this whole entire equation was Joel Embiid. We learned that Mike Gamzee told ESPN, he said, quote, "I talked to Joel after a call with James, and Joel's like, hey, man, I just said I'm healthy." That is what Joel Embiid told LeBron James.
I'm glad Joel's healthy in July.
I know.
It
makes you wonder, like, all right, he could say he's healthy. He could feel great right now, but once the season gets along, I'm very curious to see how this all shakes out. But the big reason.
But that's the background checks that LeBron and Rich Paul were doing.
Yes.
They reached out to LeBron.
They have to.
They reached out to Embiid. Are you healthy? The article also stated they reached out to Sixers brass, asking them how would they feel about LeBron commuting basically from New York to Philadelphia on game nights and taking a chopper at it.
You shouldn't have a problem with. If you're out there at 609-403-0973, if you have a problem with LeBron commuting from New York to Philadelphia, relax. You'll be all right.
That's the recon that they did. That's how
JJ Redick did the same exact thing when he played for the Sixers. He commuted from Brooklyn, but
not via chopper.
Not via chopper.
LeBron's got chopper money.
Yeah, he's well off. That's why he could take $4 million a year. But anyway, the big part of this whole thing is the Jaylen Brown trade. And Rich Paul was on his podcast, another episode dropped with him, Max Kellerman, and Shams Charania, and he discussed that the Sixers were not even in the equation when choosing his next team until Jaylen Brown became a Sixer. Take a listen to what Rich Paul had to say.
If you would have heard our conversations one day before the trade and then 2 days after the trade, those conversations couldn't have been further apart.
Right.
Couldn't have been further apart. It's just that's how things happen over time. Like there wasn't even a radar on Philly in that case.
How quick after Jaylen Brown goes to Philly do you hear from the Sixers and you and LJ start talking about it and it's like, this might be real?
That's the thing. We never really heard from the Sixers because the Sixers never really thought it was even a chance. And I talked to Bob a lot, but we talk about other things. He never, and obviously I talk to Tyrese all the time. No, never even thought it was a chance. We started having conversations about just basketball in itself and how things could play out and what it takes to actually win and where, not to get into everything, but there was several conversations. And as you know, all these decisions are layered.
And they absolutely are layered. There's a lot that went into this decision, but the Sixers didn't even reach out after they got Jaylen Brown. So this clearly was a massive, massive basketball decision by LeBron James and his camp. Okay, it was. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. This was a basketball decision. This is the best chance to give me a ring going out of my career. That is what happened here, Pete. And the Jaylen Brown, that trade changed everything. And you could thank Boston for that. They have created and set off a chain of events with that one move, sending Jaylen Brown to the Sixers. It created this whole new thing with LeBron coming to Philadelphia and looking to possibly end his career here, Pete.
And it also brings up the fact that Tyrese Maxey is like a little brother to LeBron.
Yep.
And none of those other teams had that. No one else had a clutch client as notable as Tyrese Maxey is. And I think he was the whole the linchpin in this whole recruitment process. I mean, you really saw Maxey make calls to LeBron. Jaylen Brown made overtures to Rich Paul to get to LeBron. Joel Embiid, Nick Nurse, Josh Harris even had a little 5-minute thing with LeBron at that Fanatics Fest. No other team had that.
Nope.
And I don't really know why. Maybe because they just didn't. I mean, I didn't see Giannis openly recruit LeBron to Miami.
No,
did you?
It didn't seem as strong, and it felt like the
Sixers,
like
Steph Curry with that whole Avengers thing.
The Sixers brass had the most full court press to get LeBron. It felt like throughout the entire league,
and that made a huge difference.
And yes, it absolutely did. You had Bob Myers go on the podcast. You had Tyrese Maxey. You had Jaylen Brown, you had Joel Embiid, all reaching out to LeBron James via text message and communicating some type of way. You even had the owner, the only owner to really have a face-to-face other than the Cleveland meeting they had early on, which came out on the podcast as well. So,
which is that was shocking to hear.
That was shocking.
Because we thought this whole time that LeBron wasn't taking any meetings.
Yeah.
Right?
And he had,
that it was all going to be Rich Paul.
Yeah.
But
I found that hard to believe. And, clearly the decision was he could have went out. It would have been great. Oh, he ended in Cleveland. He went home. Akron boy, and go. It ended phenomenally, right? But he wants to go get another championship. And some people around the media seem to have a problem with that, and they call it ring chasing. And Rich Paul, also on this podcast, explained the idea of ring chasing and why it should not have a negative connotation to it. He
was referring to Charles's comments about ring chasing, and I think Shaq chimed in as well, which is, again, is confusing. It's like, well, what do you suppose to chase? Like aluminum cans? And I don't think we're chasing anything. I don't think he's chasing anything. I just think that you want to put yourself in the best position to have a competitive chance of winning. But it's very confusing when you see players and they talk about whether you stacking a team or ring chasing, especially guys don't have any rings. That's a little confusing. That's really confusing. But I'm not talking about Charles, because Charles is a legend. It's my guy. But
I think this is when you get criticized and LeBron gets criticized.
And they do. And it's something that has followed LeBron throughout his career. When he left the first time, Cleveland to Miami, going back to Cleveland, not necessarily too much, but going to the Lakers, etc. It seems like he has been ring chasing his whole entire career. But I have no problem with ring chasing, PG. I have no problem with him at 41 years of age going to a team that gives him the best chance to win. And throughout this entire process, we knew that the Sixers gave him the best chance to win. No doubt about it in my mind. As I'm talking about this, the Miami Marlins just tied it up here at Vetnor Social.
Yes,
the Phillies watch party. I want to give an update to the people out there that it is all tied up 6-6 in the bottom of the seventh
This
inning.
was a 6-0 lead, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, Harper rips a triple. Turner hits the homer. And you think this game is pretty much won. And now it's 6.
Now it's 6-6. So there's an update on the Phillies.
But back to the ring chasing.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant, when he went to Golden State, I would define that as ring chasing, right?
Yes.
That's 100% the definition of ring chasing. When KD,
and the first time LeBron did it to Miami.
when
up
he
the big three.
got the group together, Bosh and D-Wade, yes. And we have a pass ball here.
But I will tell you this. It is not a bad thing to try and go win championships if your team stinks.
And this team was already stacked before LeBron got here.
Yes.
Right? That's the difference. Talking about LeBron stacking teams, that's not
and
true.
at 41, aren't you supposed to try and go win another championship and go to the team your best opportunity is to win? And I know Josh has a couple of thoughts on this. Josh, I mean, for me, I don't see a problem with a 41-year-old, going to be 42-year-old LeBron James going out there and find a squad that he thinks gives him the best opportunity to continue to chase the ghost of Michael Jordan.
Well, to your point, you just said, first of all, I would say, by the way, happy Wednesday. Happy hump day,
Happy
you
Wednesday.
guys.
Yeah, absolutely, Josh. Back in the studio.
I'm not happy right now. The Phillies just blew a 6-run lead. So, I mean.
Well, you're at Vetnor Social. You can have a drink and quell your stress over there, P, if you want to. But to your point about the ring chasing, I'm with you guys. I never understood this. Let's criticize the guy for trying to win championships. I never understood that. You know, if his priority at the end of his career is to go out and get a ring, let him. Who cares? You know what happens? It's a society we live in. People just want to complain about something, and they want misery loves company, right? So they want to bring you into their own misery of their own existence. I wanted to back up to what you said earlier, Nick. I thought it was very interesting because you pointed out that no one should be surprised the way LeBron went about this, right? No one should be surprised that, like, oh, he was in Cleveland. He met with the Cavs. Big whoop. He was already there, right? He saw Josh Harris at Fanatic Fest. Why should we be surprised? Michael Rubin used to be an owner of the Sixers. Yep. Are we surprised he invited Josh Harris into the conversation? You know, I had NBA insider Scoop B on my show on Saturday, and he said that, you know, he doesn't think it was a coincidence at all that Michael Rubin, who is the owner of Fanatics, had that meeting already set up ahead of time. So none of this stuff should surprise anyone.
Well, the Cleveland stuff should, because he was thought to have not been taking any meetings, and how close Cleveland came to bringing him home, getting him back, having him retire as a Cav, and then he takes the meeting with the owner, with the GM, with everybody else, and then he kind of just learns it in the end.
It's funny because it was early in the process.
It was early in the
talked
process,
about that.
right.
So is that a bad job on Cleveland's part by doing it so early in the process when he had all these teams that he was like mulling over?
Well, that's what I was going to.
They did it so early, and Josh Harris, he kind of did it a little bit late in the process.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. It seems like that the whole narrative that Rich Paul put out there about, hey, we're taking voice notes, we're taking pitches, it seems like timeline was after the Cleveland meeting. So do you guys think the Cleveland meeting kind of jump-started this 4-week process? Because that's what the timeline seems like.
I think it did. I really do. And, I think the biggest part of this whole entire thing is that Jaylen Brown got traded to the Sixers. The Sixers had no shot before that even happened. And you got to give credit to Bob Myers and the brass of Mike Gansey as well, Jameer Nelson, and the whole squad, that they took this thing by the reins. They went out, made a bold move to get Jaylen Brown, didn't have to go up anything, and that got them LeBron James. I mean, that is something that this team has not had in a long time. They've gotten stars in the past, etc., but this is a different level. You just added 2 finals MVPs for the first time in NBA history to any roster, the first time in a total offseason to add 2 finals MVPs. That is different.
And one thing, I'm not sure if this was the article or the pod that Rich Paul was on, but they talked about making demands, right? Like we didn't make any demands. Our only demand is winning. So you don't know what that meeting with Cleveland was like, or the stuff that we heard about Golden State, Anthony Davis, and Draymond Green.
Well, I will say that it came out, Rich Paul has said, and other people have reported that all of that stuff that you're mentioning, Pete, about he's demanding Anthony, like all that stuff was bunk. So I almost wondered, like, do you guys think that reporting was coming out by maybe, people who are trying to stir the pot, or where do you think that stuff came from?
It seems like to me, and this is just my opinion, is that other teams are probably trying to put that stuff out to gain leverage on other squads. That's what I think happened.
I mean, I do think there is something to like Clutch wanting LeBron and AD to play together again, get those guys together.
I'm sure it was
I think there's something
over,
to it, right?
But I think this ended up being too good of an opportunity for LeBron to try and get another ring, or maybe 2. Who knows? Heading into this
Rich
year,
Paul
next
mentioned
year.
maybe he'll play till he's 45.
Yeah, I know.
Did you see that?
Yes, I heard that. All right, let's relax.
Now LeBron's playing till he's 45.
He's Mr. Longevity. I hear that. But listen, there's some concerns. He's going to be 42. He's up there in age. You got to stay healthy. If you're LeBron and this team has to stay healthy, there's so many still question marks on how this team is going to react. And I want to hear from you on the White Horse RV Center text line. It's at 609-403-0973. White Horse RV Center in Williamstown and Galloway. Your RV adventure starts here at White Horse RV, 609-403-0973. If you are out there, who is the biggest X factor to this whole puzzle working together? Is it Embiid? Is it Maxey? Is it LeBron? Is it JB? Who is it? Is it Edgecombe? Is Edgecombe going to come off the bench? There are so many different ways this can go on who's going to take over the ball, who's going to facilitate. I would think it would be LeBron, and Shams Charania also reported that LeBron is going to be kind of the facilitator of this entire offense. You also have to factor in how many games will Embiid play? How many games will LeBron play throughout the year, right? Because he's up there in age. They're going to want to load manage him. We all know what happens to Joel Embiid every year. They're going to have to definitely load manage him, and you don't know what injuries could pop up because something weird always seems to happen with Joel, Hans, and Embiid. So 609-403-0973, out of the 5 starters heading into next year for the Sixers, who is the biggest X factor? I want to hear from you on the White Horse RV text line, 609-403-0973, because this is a puzzle, Pete. This is a big puzzle, and we're going to go to a game at some point. We're going to empty our bank accounts and go see this live in person, and Josh is coming with us, I hope, because I want to see this in person, all right? This is going to be something that we have never seen before. This is one of the greatest on-paper rosters heading into a season that we have ever seen. This is a very, very big deal, and it puts the Sixers right in contention. So I want to hear from the people out there at 609-403-0973. Give me your biggest X factor in that starting lineup for the Sixers. We are live at Vetnor Social. Did I say that already? We're here. But we're getting a little upset. We're getting a little aggravated. Could be hangry, too, because we're going to need some food in a little bit. Absolutely. All right. It's 6-6. We're here for a Phillies watch party. It's in the 8th. This watch party is probably going to go on a little bit longer just because it's tied up at this point. You hope it goes into extra innings.
It's a shame, Phillies. Man. It really is.
They were up 6-0. I mean, geez.
Harper hits the triple. Turner hits the homer. Yep. They had a sack fly. I mean, they're playing fundamental good baseball, and they're just – they just choke away a 6-run lead.
Yep.
I don't know what to make of it, man.
And we will get into the
Harper comments from last night.
Yep, we'll get into those comments a little bit later on in the program. Andrew DeCecco has us for Football F4 later today. And Mike McGarry, he's going to join us at 3:30 later on today. And we're going to break all things Phil's down. I would assume the game may be over, depending on how long this goes at that point. So there is a lot to get into. We're going to continue the LeBron conversation. Get your thoughts in on the White Horse RV text board. I want to hear the biggest X factor of this starting five for the Sixers heading into next season. So that is coming up. But on the other side, I want to know how this is all going to work. I want to continue that conversation, all right? Because Yahoo Sports put out an interesting article on how LeBron's going to fit in to this whole equation. We'll talk about that on the other side. I am Nick Earnshaw alongside Pete G. Josh Henning back at the studio, filling in for Mike Gill. We are live from Vetnor Social right here on 97.3 ESPN. Welcome back in. It is the Sports Bash. I am Nick Earnshaw. Nicky Nuggets filling in for Mr. Mike Gill today alongside Cheap Seats PPG and Josh Henning back in the studio. We are live at Vetnor Social, a Phillies watch party today. And we are watching, and we are not happy.
They cannot lose this game, man.
We are not happy at the moment.
They've got to find a way.
Have blown a 6-0 lead to the Miami Marlins. Jesus Luzardo started falling apart in the 6th and 7th innings, and it has not been good. Now they are in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Jonathan Bolin, no outs, a runner on first base. He is in pitching for the Fightins at the moment. And the text board at 609-403-0973. I do want to hear who your X factor is for the Sixers out of that starting five. Who is it? Who could it be? Obviously, they all can make a difference, but who to you is going to be the biggest difference maker throughout the entirety of the season? 609-403-0973. But we do have a Phillies text from Pat in Ocean City. He says, I usually go to 6 to 8 Phillies games a year. This year, I've only been to one, and Nola blew a 5-0 lead. I am just exhausted by this team, front office, players, 29th ranked, minor league system, everything. Fired both Mattinglys, fired Brian Barber, fired Dombrowski. I mean, people are going nuts already. If they lose this game, PG, I mean, the city's not going to be on fire if they lose this game.
And you know something? The comments from, I know we're going to get into those, but the comments from Harper last night, they don't really help matters because it just puts all eyes of Major League Baseball on this team. And you come out the next day and you blow a 6-run lead and you might blow the game entirely.
Yeah, this is not good if you're the Philadelphia Phillies. And we're going to talk Fightins a little bit later in the program with Mike McGarry. He's going to be joining us at 3:30 today following this Phils debacle that they are currently in at the moment. And for a team in the Marlins that lost 12 games in a row, for you to possibly get swept by the Miami Marlins, I mean, you are in a lot of trouble if that is the case. And I don't know what could fix it at the deadline. And we'll get into that in a second.
That ball has left the yard.
They just give up a home run. That's great. That's actually fantastic. Jonathan Bola just gave up a 2-run shot. It is now 8-6. The Phillies blew a 6-0 lead, and it is 8-6 in the bottom of the 8th. This one is probably over. That's probably over. That's unbelievable.
I don't know what
I can't even talk about the Sixers right now. This
speechless.
is so bad. We got to talk for a living, and we got to sit here and watch an 8-6 game. Unbelievable. We are live at Vetnor Social. The Phillies just blew a 6-0 lead. If you are just joining us, the Marlins are on fire at the moment. The bats have come alive. So
and they're losing games. I mean, last night Nola gives up 1 run, and you can't win that ball game.
Nope.
And today, you score 6. And you can't win that ball game.
They are going through an absolute rut right now. One of the interns, he had the Phillies at 2.5.
I had the Phillies money line,
and that's not looking too hot right now. 609-403-0973. I mean, we got a bunch of Phillies texts coming in right now. I will read them off. Phillies got to sell. This is grotesque. Marlins 12 losses in a row and now sweep us. Embarrassing from top to bottom. Need an entire regime change. I agree. I mean, I don't know what else they could do with the deadline. Now, last year, if you remember, Pete, I said last year was the final year for this core to have a real shot at going to a World Series. I'm looking to be proven right about right now because this team, I understand they fired the manager. Don Mattingly came back through the All-Star break. Very good. Got them back into the mix of the playoff hunt. I understand that. But coming out of the All-Star break has been brutal. And if you look at some of the numbers, I tweeted out last night, Pete, and Josh Henning actually sent me a text that added on to my tweet from last night. The Phillies, after last night, lost 1-0 twice in their last 5 games and had scored 1 or less runs 6 times since the All-Star break. Now, today they put up 6 runs, and then the pitching falls apart, and they can't hold on to a 6-run lead. I mean, this team has problems all over the place at this point.
If you're Dave Dombrowski and the trade deadline is on Monday and you have your star player saying, give us reinforcements, we need help, not just a bat, but also an arm. But if you're Dave Dombrowski and you see this performance today, I mean, doesn't it say, why would I do that? Why would I trade away all the farm system that I do have left? Is this team worth doing that for?
I don't know. I don't know what you do if you're Dave Dombrowski at the deadline at this point. You You need bullpen help. You need another starting pitcher, and you need a right-handed bat.
And that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot to ask for, number one. And some of that is Dave Dombrowski's doing, right?
Yes.
Because this will be the fourth trade deadline in a row that he does not add an impact player. I mean, is that what we're looking for here? Just a marginal type guy like an Austin Hayes or a Harrison Bader?
That bat's not out there. I'm telling you right now, there is no bat other than probably Byron Buxton that would make a significant difference to this lineup. Josh, I know you have to agree with me on that. There is not a bat out there that would make a significant impact other than really Buxton that we've heard of.
Well, listen, I have to go through the top 100 again that Jeff Passan put out last week in order to really dig deep. But I mean, for example, I think Hunter Goodman, if you put him at first base or in right field, would be a massive upgrade for this lineup. He's a guy that's been rumored to be traded.
Well, there's also the possibility, because Bryce was asked about it, of him moving back to the outfield. I think at this point, if they were to get like a first baseman, a Chapman, etc., and he had to move back to the outfield,
the problem with what you just said is, I got to interrupt you there, man. You mentioned Chapman. Chapman is not, he doesn't fit the profile. What you said, he's not an impact guy. He ain't going to come here.
That's what I mean.
And shake. But like a guy like Goodman, you could go and get him and put him at first base, put him in the outfield. He could be your backup catcher. That's somebody worth getting, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, Langolier's out in Oakland or whatever, the Sacramento.
He's done for the year
now. He's done for the year. That was a name that came up for so long, for a little while there, because they just trade everybody and anybody who starts hitting their prime. So there's that. There was that, and that's kind of out of the equation now. I mean, there's just nobody. Goodman's a decent name, I think, but then you still need pitching. You still need bullpen help. And you still need another starting pitcher. Like, there's just so many holes on this team where it's not going to be take one trade deadline. It's going to fix everything. That's the thing, is they don't have enough in the farm system to go out and get these high-profile guys. They can be easily outbid by other teams around the league because their farm system is very short. It's just not a farm system that other teams are going to be chomping at the bit to make trades and give up some of their top guys
That's why you have the marginal moves, the tinkering that we've seen from Dombrowski the last 3 years.
But to your guys' point, part of the problem here is Dombrowski's fault. Dombrowski put together this situation.
I agree.
And so now it's behooved on him to, stop telling us what he did in 2006 and come back to 2026 and fix the team.
Yep.
Well, is Dombrowski also thinking to himself, it's on the players. These players have to
Part
perform.
of it is, yeah.
9-19 is unacceptable when you have a $300 million payroll.
Yeah, maybe when your star player Bryce Harper tells you to go out and get Pete Alonso 2 years ago, you don't poo-poo him in the face and not do it.
Yep. Well, this is the situation they have caused, and they are 3 outs away from blowing a 6-0 lead and getting swept by the Miami Marlins. 609-403-0973. Keep the text coming. You can give us a Phillies thought, because this is not a great way to have our watch party going on right now. 8-6. The Phillies down now. They were up. It was so much fun. We were getting ready for the show, watching the game, and now all of a sudden 8-6. It's like, oh man, here we go. But
this is going to be a backbreaker.
But yeah,
this is going to be the worst loss of the season. It
has to be. But we are giving away a bus trip to Camden Yards. So stop by if you are coming out to Vetnor Social. Get on down here. Give away a free bus trip to Camden Yards this weekend. Sign up. The interns will help you out. They'll take care of you right here at Vetnor Social. So come hang, have a drink, stop by, and have a good time. I do want to switch gears and get back into the 76ers. And I was talking about an article from Yahoo Sports a little bit earlier, and it talked about a couple of ways that the offense is going to look next year, PG. Okay, because you have so many ball-dominant guys, and you just
only one ball. We know,
I know.
Right?
It's the whole thing.
There's only one ball, only one basket.
But
we get it.
I think
cue the eye roll emoji.
Yes.
Will Adam Silver add a second ball?
Yeah, right.
To the NBA.
Yeah. Shams Charania reported that LeBron's most likely going to be the guy who is going to be the facilitator of this offense, run the point forward, right? And you wonder how all of that works with LeBron in the mix, Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, because you have those 4 guys who can push the pace relatively fast. I mean, they're relatively fast from those guys getting back in transition, etc. And then you have Joel Embiid, who's one of the slower guys in the NBA, who could slow things down a little bit. So I want to ask you, PG, is there concern that Joel Embiid is going to slow things down too much with the way this offense is going to roll, and will it be an awkward fit?
I don't think so. I mean, if they want to play the way that they want to play, and that what you just said, fast-paced, throwing lobs up, get the ball and go, just have Embiid trail you. I mean, that's it is what it is. When he's out there, just have Embiid trail.
Well, I am very curious to see how the pick and roll really how effective it is going to be this year. And, one of the key points from this article in Yahoo Sports.
April, May, and June, when that time rolls around, you're going to have a lot of bucket getters, right? In the half-court set.
Absolutely.
You got 4 guys who can really just get a bucket. And we saw in the playoffs, especially in that Knicks series, when you needed a bucket, you just couldn't get it.
Yep. And the one point this article made in Yahoo saying having LeBron on the weak side when he's in a pick and roll could make Embiid more decisive, but will he be able to get back to form where he could pick, choose, and mix his defensive coverages to match what the Sixers need? If he can't regain his form defensively, that could lower the ceiling for this group. Now, your response to that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that Embiid certainly has taken a step back defensively. He's just not the same guy.
He's not.
And he'll probably never will be the same guy again. But that's why you have a guy like LeBron who can defend any position that he wants. I mean, so I think it's going to be tough. I think Embiid's availability, it's obviously not there, but can we get enough out of him when the playoffs roll around? I hope so.
609-403-0973 is the text line. Let us know who your X factor for the Sixers is going to be heading into next year.
If I sounded a little bit distracted during that.
Yeah, it's all right. The Phillies also just lost.
The game's over.
Blew a 6-run lead, so they lose 8-6 to the Miami Marlins. It is the first sweep of the Phillies at their home ballpark since 2017.
We can't sugarcoat. This is a terrible loss.
Terrible loss.
This is a backbreaker from where this team is, the trade deadline on Monday, how this team has come out of the All-Star break. They haven't won a series.
Nope.
Schwarber, he's been out of the lineup, but he has not been swinging the bat all too well. Harper's comments yesterday.
Yep.
This is just
not good.
This is really a bad time right now.
It's not good if you are a Phillies fan. The Phillies fall to the Miami Marlins 8-6, and they are swept by Miami. So get in on the text line. I want to hear from the people out there. Give me a Phillies thought on this loss, on this sweep from the Miami Marlins. Also, can you let me know who your X factor is for the 76ers heading into the season? A big article came out today from David Benjamin in ESPN detailing the entire process of LeBron James joining the Sixers. A bunch of nuggets in there, a bunch of reactions from the Sixers brass, etc. So we'll continue to talk about that throughout the program. But I think the story right now is the Phillies at the moment. And we'll have Mike McGarry coming on at 3:30 later on today. And we'll break it all down with him because this is it's getting ridiculous at this point. Coming out of the All-Star break, things have just not looked up for this team.
And this dynamic between Bryce Harper and now Don Mattingly and really Don Mattingly's son, this is just not a good dynamic right now, man.
No, it is not. So 609-403-0973, reaction to the Phillies' loss and sweep to the Miami Marlins today, as well as all your LeBron and Sixers comments, because that's what we have to look forward to right now. I know we're a little negative at the moment, but this is positive.
And Eagles training camp.
Yeah, Eagles training camp was today.
Roseman talking
we might have to
today.
switch, but the Phillies.
Jalen Carter's re-signed for years to come.
Yep, so come on down to Vetnor Social. We are here until 6 p.m., and you got a chance to win a Phillies Camden Yards bus trip. So come on down to Vetnor Social. Come hang out with us. Enjoy a couple of drinks and relax with us after that Phillies loss. You're listening to the Sports Bash. I am Nick Earnshaw alongside PG right here on 97.3 ESPN.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Keeping the fans entertained and happy.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
We are back here live at Vetnor Social. Nuggets alongside PG. Josh back in the studio, filling in for Mike Gill today, as he is the day off today. We are live at Vetnor Social. We're also giving away a Phillies bus trip to Camden Yards. You want to sign up, so get down here and sign up for the Baltimore trip to Camden Yards. Go see the Fightins and the Baltimore Orioles. Tough one today as the Phillies squander a 6-0 lead and lose 8-6 to the Miami Marlins. Tough go for the Fightins as of late. But we are here still hanging out at Vetnor Social. We'll be here till 6, so come on down, have a beer, get a drink, grab some food, and have a great
And
time.
Camden Yards is a great time. It's a great ballpark, not too far away.
Yeah.
A lot of Phillies fans going to be down there. So Camden Yards is a great time.
Okay, I've been down to Camden Yards a few times, and it is absolutely one of the best places to catch a ballpark. I know there's going to be a ton of Phils fans down there, so you want to get down here and sign up to win that bus trip. Absolutely. But the Phils, they clearly needed still a little bit of help at the trade deadline at 609-403-0973. Please let me know who your X factor is for the 76ers for the rest of the way, as well as your reaction to this Phillies loss and where this Phillies team is at the moment. We have Andrew at Summers Point. He is chiming in on the text board, the White Horse RV text board. I don't want them to make any moves at the deadline. I want to lose big and not make the playoffs because that's the only thing that's going to break this team up.
I mean, that would be a collapse of epic proportions if they did not even make the playoffs. It's pretty hard not to do that.
Now, we were talking to Josh during the break, and I think we're all in agreement that at this deadline, to even have a chance to go to the World Series, right, you have to sell the farm to go out and get, whether it's a bullpen piece, another bat, a starting pitcher, something.
You want needle movers. Though,
has to be needle movers. So, Josh, I'm on the side of I don't think there's any prospect that is untouchable in this system. I know you may disagree with me on one particular player.
I'm going to ask Henning a question as well.
Because I'm on the side of I think you sell anybody. And if you would get a big-time talent, you're trying to win a World Series right now, that's what you go
now,
do.
with the guys in their farm system, the top 10, whatever, Baseball America, I don't care who, which one of those guys would headline a Tarek Skubal deal or a Buxton deal or Mike Trout trade? I don't care who. Which one of those guys would be a headliner?
Right now,
are they good enough?
Right now, it would be Gage Wood. Gage Wood would probably be the headliner, mostly because of the fact that Aiden Miller has ongoing back problems and he's on the layaway shelf.
Now, Gage Wood is probably ready to come up to the majors this year, right?
Maybe. It depends on who you ask. Certain people,
maybe not as a starter, but he probably would have to be stretched out, whatever. But as a reliever,
sure, maybe as a reliever for another team, he might be able to come up this year. It depends on who you ask. I know Kylie McDaniel has projected him for next year for the major league level from ESPN.com, but sure.
So he is a Skubal headliner. He's good enough to have.
He's good enough to get the conversation started.
Okay. Now you mentioned Milwaukee. They have a way better farm system than the Phillies do.
So to me, when I look around baseball right now, Milwaukee, the Atlanta Braves, and the LA Dodgers all have these like psychotically deep farm systems. That's why those teams are probably going to be the front runners if and when the Tigers trade Skubal.
Okay, so if you're Dave Dombrowski and you just laid it out for us, what does he do? Where does he go from here?
To me, what I do is I make one, like Nick mentioned earlier, I would make one more call to the Twins about Buxton and be like, just be straight with me. Is he tradable? Is he not tradable? No more rumor and speculation on podcasts, okay? Are you, yes or no? If the answer is no, then you move on to your Hunter Goodmans and other guys like that. You call the Angels, you see if the Zach Neto conversation is legitimate. There are other players to be had, but you gotta pivot quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, this is part of the problem when they went into the year with Andrew Painter as one of the guys. They let Ranger Suarez walk. Remember, that's what happened in this offseason. And now you have a Luzardo, you have a Wheeler, and a Sanchez. Okay, those are your three. But after that, you have no pitching depth whatsoever. And another starter you would need to possibly help you out in the bullpen. It could push like a Luzardo to come out of the bullpen, etc.
Well, that's why, for example, Michael Wacha's name is being thrown around a lot.
He's came up a ton, yeah.
From the Royals, because he's a guy who can eat innings and give you a couple quality starts to get you the. And by the way, he has a history of pitching out of the bullpen in the postseason.
Because Aaron Nola, you just don't know what you're going to get out of him from night to night.
Poor Nola, he's given you the last 4 starts, 3 or 4 quality starts.
Yeah, I mean,
the offense is giving you absolutely nothing.
He was
2018 all over again.
Yeah, he's been fine. It's just like you don't know what you're going to get some nights. You don't know if he's just going to totally fall apart or he's going to give you 4 to 5 good innings. And that's also lays on Don Mattingly to know when to get him out of the game.
And that's, I mean, talk about Zach Wheeler. He got hit around 2 nights ago.
Yep.
That was a little concerning. I know, he said, I'm fine, whatever, just a bad night. But they had 3 bad nights in a row.
Yep. 609-403-0973. We are live at Vetnor Social. Come on down. Get something to eat. Get a drink. Come hang with us. We're here until 6 o'clock later today. And also, you can win a bus trip, free bus trip to Camden Yards, Phil's Orioles, coming up this weekend. So make sure you stop on down to sign up. See our interns at the front door here at Vetnor Social. It's an absolute blast every time we come on out here. So listen, on the other side, Bryce Harper, he made some comments last night after the game that I do want to get people's reaction to. I want to get Pete's reaction as well as Josh's reaction. We'll talk more Phil's on the other side. What can they do with the deadline? All that and more coming up right here on the Sports Bash. All right, we are back live at Vetnor Social in Vetnor. Nick Earnshaw, Nicky Nuggets, alongside PG, Josh Henning, back at the studio. We're filling in for Mike Gill today, and we are giving away the Baltimore bus trip for this weekend. Come on down, get a drink, grab some food, enjoy yourself. It's a beautiful night. Beautiful day as of right now. We'll be here till 6 o'clock, and we'll be giving away that bus trip. Come sign up. Our interns are right outside the Vetnor Social front door. So even if you're just driving by, just sign your name, and you can win. And you must be present to win. So we're giving that away later on today. But right now, we're continuing our Phillies conversation as they fall today by a final score of 8-6 to the Miami Marlins. They get swept by Miami today, blowing a 6-1 lead. And the text board's been lighting up, PG. It's been lighting up. Jeff in Suburbs Point said, at this point, just get in the playoffs and see what happens. I can't watch anymore. The games, it's just terrible at this point. They're still in the mix. Let's not get it twisted. They're still in the mix.
There's an extra wild card. I mean, obviously, trying to get a bye in these playoffs, that's probably out of reach now. I mean, that's over.
Yes.
But you get in, and you see what happens, just like Jeff said. But now you're 6.5 back of Atlanta.
Yes.
So that is turning into a problem to where before the All-Star break, we were talking like maybe they could overtake Atlanta.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely,
it's
losing 3 in a row, 2-8 in your last 10. Now you're 6.5 back.
You got to figure it out. 609-403-0973. Get your thoughts in on the Philadelphia Phillies as of this point. 6.5 back of Atlanta, as PG just said, as well as get in on the Sixers. Give me your X factor for this team. Out of the starting lineup, who's going to be the biggest X factor to make this all work? 609-403-0973. That is on the White Horse RV text line. And listen, Bryce Harper, he mentioned it last night after they fell to Miami. They do need some help at this trade deadline. And I tend to agree with them. There were some people that were giving them, pushing back on them a little bit and saying, I don't agree with them. I'm one of the people that I think they do need help. Now, have they helped themselves as much? Maybe not so much. But I want you to hear what Bryce had to say following last night's game, and let me know your thoughts as well. We'll get PG's reaction too.
Do you think this is a lineup or a team that beat good pitching in October? Because presumably, come October, you guys will see quite a bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need some help, but I think we've proved, pretty much all year we've done a pretty good job. But anytime you can, get some help in here and reinforcements, I think it helps.
Do you think that help would be best coming in the form of an arm or a bat?
I think both. I think obviously everybody knows what we need, so I think I've said it over the last couple of days.
There you go. I think he's right. I mean, they do need help. I understand.
I agree with him. I agree with you.
Listen, I understand that they have struggled since the All-Star break, but they definitely do need some help. You look at the outfield. Brandon Marsh, Justin Crawford, Brian De La Cruz. Is that the outfield
that we haven't seen him in a few games now?
That's an outfield that needs an upgrade for sure. The bullpen needs an upgrade. Whoever it is out there, Mason Miller or Aroldis Chapman, you need to improve this team at the deadline, no matter what, Pete.
And I think Harper is, that line that Gil plays all the time, voice of the voiceless, CM Punk.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Harper is speaking for a lot of most of the fans. Most of the fan base
feels the same way.
That they do need help.
They do need help.
Now, listen, do you want Harper to take some accountability? His month of July has not been very good. Sure. But I think for the most part, him and Schwarber have been carrying this lineup, this entire kind of comeback since Topper was fired. Brandon Marsh really came back down to earth. So you really can't be – he's platooning again now. I think at the end of the day, this team needs the help. They need the right-handed bat. They need the reliever and or starter. This team's got to hit.
Yep, That's
what it really comes down to. They have to hit.
They have to hit. They're going into, they have off tomorrow now, and, the travel days tomorrow. They'll go to Baltimore. And by the way, you come down to Vetnor Social. You can sign up, win a trip this weekend to Baltimore to see one of those games against the Baltimore Orioles and the Philadelphia Phillies. So come on down to Vetnor Social while you're at it. But this is a very important series. This needs to be a bounce-back series for the Phillies coming up here because obviously you go down to Miami. This is the first time they've gotten swept by the Marlins in Miami since 2017 at Lone Depot Park. They need a bounce-back series here. And, I've seen this team do it before. I'm going to try and be not as Negadelphian, right? I'm going to be a little positive. I've seen this team bounce back. And remember, at the beginning of the year, after they fired Rob, they bring in Don Mattingly. They found their way a little bit. You hope that it's just up to this Miami series, that this is a game changer. Like, hey, guys, we got to get back on track here. I understand they do need some help, but they got to start hitting the baseball too. Today they did, but then they didn't get help from the bullpen. So one's got to give at some point. I think they'll find a way to bounce back here because it's a long season. I know it's cliche, but it's a long season for this team. And there's going to be ups and downs throughout, and we know the roster is imperfect. So I think maybe this weekend they get back on track. They need some good pitch performances out of their guys and, just find a way to hit and be a little more consistent.
Is it right message, wrong messenger for some folks out there? Like if Kyle Schwarber says this or anyone else.
Remember, Kyle's missed some time too.
Right, yeah, he's been out of the lineup.
So that's how I'll put it.
Is it because Harper said it and it gets everybody up in a frenzy?
Yes.
Well,
yes,
I think it is Harper. I think, and I know Josh wants to chime in. I'll just say this before Josh chimes in. When Bryce says it, it carries a lot of weight. It carries a lot of weight when he's one of the leaders in the clubhouse, one of the top guys in Major League Baseball. When a superstar like Bryce says it, then it carries a little more weight at that point.
And part of the problem is that Bryce Harper he kind of falls into that category of people want their stars to speak out and speak their mind and be authentic. But then when they speak their mind and they're authentic, then we criticize them for speaking their mind and being authentic. So to me, I think that a lot of the criticism of Harper is people are uncomfortable when the star player speaks out because the people feel like the star player's being, oh, you're speaking out of turn. And to me, guys, I don't know how you feel. I look at it as good. Speak out because someone's got to say it.
Yeah, and someone has to. Someone has to say. I am totally with Josh on that. Somebody has to say it, because they have refrained from making any move that is significant to this roster. You look at the offseason, they went into it with the young players, which I am not opposed to, but it didn't work out with Andrew Painter. He was not ready to be a major league starter just yet. You look at Justin Crawford, he's been fine, he's been okay, but that's not enough. Adolis Garcia, you were banking on him being the guy from 3 years ago. He wasn't that guy, and he got hurt. So they just have not made the moves that were significant enough to this roster to allow them to go on a run and be competitive with the teams of the ilk of the Dodgers.
And that's the uncomfortable part for me is this dynamic between Bryce Harper and Dave Dombrowski in the front office. And we had Donnie Baseball make his comments today. He's obviously trying to protect his son a little bit there, but the dynamic between Harper and the front office, it's a little rocky right now. Maybe there's some scar tissue there from the not elite comments, and they're kind of coming up to the surface here around the trade deadline. Is Harper kind of saying that to Dombrowski, hey, man, you haven't been a good GM. We need help because you haven't
been an elite GM.
Yeah, you haven't been an elite GM. Yeah.
You haven't been an elite GM.
We need help because you haven't given us help for the last 3 years.
Yeah, listen.
And Mattingly, real quick on that, Mattingly, he hasn't been here long enough to get the frustration of the fan base and of Bryce Harper, really.
Yeah, listen, Bryce hasn't been totally elite either. Dombrowski's been nowhere near elite at this point. Listen, they're a good team. The Phillies are a good team. They're going to make the playoffs, all right? It's just, are they going to be able to compete with teams like the Dodgers and the Brewers and some of these top National League teams where we've seen them get there? And if they're hot, this team's on fire. They can beat anybody. We know when the Phillies get hot, they can beat anybody and compete with anybody. It's just they got to do it at a more consistent rate, and that has not happened offensively. It's like today. Like it's two perfect examples. You got great pitching yesterday. You lost 1-0. And then today you lose, you're up 6-0, and then the bullpen falls apart. So it's like you're trying to match everything up all at once. And right now, since the All-Star break, that hasn't been the case.
And it would have been nice if Harper hits that triple in yesterday's game. They probably win it. But instead, he hits the triple today, and they lose it.
609-403-0973. Jump aboard, talk a little Phils. Come down and visit us at Vetnor Social. We're hanging out until 6 o'clock. Vetnor Social always is a great time. We love the food. They got great drink specials. And we are giving away a trip to Baltimore this weekend. So sign up for that, and we'll make the announcement later on in the program. Our interns, they got the chairs and the table set up right in front. So go on, sign up, give yourself a shot to win a free bus trip to Camden Yards. And I'll tell you, Pete, we talked about it a little earlier. Camden Yards. It's one of the best ballparks I've been to.
Great ballpark.
Oh, nothing like it.
Great ballpark on the East Coast. It's probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, and I think you'll hopefully see a bounce back Phillies roster because after today, this is one you just got to flush and move on. They're going to take on the 52 and 56 Baltimore Orioles. It's a team they need to see at the moment because the Orioles have lost 2 straight. They lost 14-0 to the Tigers the other night on Tuesday, and then they're currently losing to them right now as we speak. So get on down here and go sign up for that Camden Yards bus trip to see the Phillies and the Orioles this weekend. All right, back to the text line, 609-403-0973. We have Rico chiming in. He says, Nick, Pete G, time for Phillies ownership to revamp the front office like the Sixers did. Is that something that could possibly be coming down the pike?
Well, if you add at the trade deadline, I think no, right?
This is a make or break trade deadline for Dombrowski.
The next 3 games.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so.
This is it. This is his last chance, right?
Well, guys, there's a lot of speculation out there that Dombrowski might walk away at the end of this year because
I've
of
heard
the
that
impending
too.
lockout.
Well, that too.
Well,
but
remember,
then,
he was essentially kind of done with baseball when they brought him in to be the president of baseball operations.
At the time, he was trying to bring baseball to Nashville because you know we all need another baseball team in Major League Baseball. That's going to fix our problems.
I think it's going to depend on how the season finishes, obviously, but also with the lockout and the Alex Cora connection. He's the one big fish out there in the offseason for the next manager of this baseball team. I think the Don Mattingly stuff can kind of go away now.
So you're already out on that.
Yeah, I mean,
done.
I think with where this team is, he did a good job of getting them back to contention. But
but there's still. I mean, listen, we got to go through August. We got to go through September.
Sure.
You know, it's the dog days. They're going to go through ruts because they're a good club. They're not a great club. They're a good club at the moment. They need to improve at the trade deadline, and August 3rd is right around the corner. So, I think there's an opportunity for them to improve. It's just about putting it all together at once for the postseason run. I think they'll be okay. They're going to get at least a wild card. I still think, I know it's at 6.5 now, games back of the Atlanta Braves. I still think they'll find somehow, some way to find their way back into the Atlanta race for the NL East. I think they will at some point. Is this it? Is this a backbreaker for you? You're just out.
No, this weekend obviously is a huge weekend, but when Bryce Harper makes those comments, this is his team, right? Mattingly's been here for 2 months. It's not his team. This is Bryce Harper's baseball team. So when he comes out last night and he makes those comments and he says, I brought my old mitt on this road trip.
My outfield glove, yeah.
My outfield glove. I mean, he might as well go on the Vetnor Beach, get one of those airplanes, attach a banner to it and say, we need help.
This weekend, you have Sanchez and Wheeler Saturday and Sunday. Friday is most likely going to be a bullpen game. Whoever they throw out there, it doesn't really matter at this point. But you will have Sanchez and Wheeler, and they're going to look to bounce back after a couple of rough starts from them, right? So you're going to – Sanchez was fine against the Yankees. I went to the game on Sunday. He was fine. And then Wheeler, he's going to look to bounce back. We know Wheeler's got a chip on his shoulder already from not making the All-Star team. I expect Zach Wheeler to bounce back. So this is a weekend I think that you can propel back in the mix and get back on your feet, and especially against the Baltimore team that's also struggling over the last couple.
And you know what? You mentioned something there. the bullpen game. This team doesn't even have a fifth starter.
Well,
right
that's
so
why,
that's the help that Harper is asking.
I went back to the point of Andrew Painter, and Mike and I disagreed. Remember, we did a show early. It was opening day.
Yeah.
And I disagreed vehemently with Mr. Mike Gill on Andrew Painter. I just did not think it was ready. And all you kept hearing from pundits is, oh, it's the stuff. The stuff's major league ready. Well, the stuff was not major league ready. The command was certainly not major league ready just yet. So that kind of put you back a little bit, and you did not bring back Ranger Suarez. So you're taxing your bullpen a little bit here, as well as they've been struggling too.
If I could jump in really quick, I think the Ranger Suarez thing, we do need to clarify that, because part of the reason why Ranger's not here is because who his agent is. Scott Boras went on the market and tried to basically outprice the Phillies, and the Phillies just were like, you know what? If that's how you're going to negotiate, but take your client and take a long walk on a short pier.
But wouldn't you want a guy like Ranger right now? It would be nice, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be nice if the Phillies went into the offseason and planned for depth instead of planning for hoping for the best.
I know.
Well, it goes back to the
you're right,
Phillies
Josh.
just handing Painter the job.
Exactly. Yep. They should have brought in like 2-3 rando veteran pitchers just to have bodies in you. There's nothing wrong with going into camp with a bunch of extra bodies.
Yep. 609-403-0973 is how you jump aboard. Give us a Phillies thought. Give us a thought as well on the Sixers and who you think the X factor is.
Really quick, some messages coming in on the YouTube channel. So I want to get to some of those really quick. People are watching on YouTube at 973 ESPN, also on the X platform. We got one comment saying, you guys are nuts. They need multiple positions. The lineup is awful. The bullpen is awful. No minor league talent is going to get anybody. Trade Duran for a big haul. Start over. Skubal is great, but you can't hit.
I think I said that, didn't I? Didn't I say that? That they need a lot of help here? Like they need multiple different positions. They need bullpen help. They need another bat. They need another starter. Like, yeah, I agree. Trading Duran to get a big haul. I mean, I don't know what that's going to bring you back necessarily at the trade deadline. Listen, you're going to either win it or lose it with this core. That is it, heading into a possible lockout in the next season. So it's like this core or bust at this point. Like you either go for it or you don't. Or I don't want to say, I don't think you're at the point where you're going to blow it up. Like I think you might as well go for it. You have so much money invested in guys like Turner, Harper,
and that's
Schwarber.
What Harper was saying on Mookie Betts' podcast.
Yeah,
his whole
go
point
help.
is that next year there could be a lockout. So for teams, it behooves them to go all in now.
Yep.
Because the economics of baseball, we don't know what they are next year.
No, you don't know what it's going to be. You don't know what's going to happen with the CBA and what the players union and the owners and how this whole thing's going to shake out. It's just a lot of unknowns. So yeah, if you're Dave Dombrowski, you sell the farm. I don't care what prospect it is. You sell the farm now at this point. You're at the point where you're just trying to go forward this year and hope for the best because you got an aging core here. You have guys that are getting older, and it's getting to that point where it's like it's either now or never.
What is known, though, is for 4 straight off seasons now, Dave Dombrowski has not improved this team at all.
You have to.
A lot of his moves have really failed.
Yep.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, do you think Luzardo's a failure?
No.
No.
Today kind of fell apart, but
he fell apart.
But they dramatically keep him in too long.
That could be part of the equation too. Well, we were talking like before he went back out there. I don't know. You're going to send him back out there? So listen, I'm okay with Luzardo, Wheeler, and Sanchez. Okay. They are going to be fine. That's not who I'm worried about. Okay. Not worried about those guys. I am worried about the bullpen and the starters after the big 3 in your rotation. And obviously the bat. Those are where your problems lie. And you got to figure it out at some point. You have to. And if you don't, I worry about how this team's going to go up against teams like the Brewers and the Dodgers and, even teams like the Cubs and the Braves, like heading down the stretch. I mean, that's who you're competing against. They are a good enough team to get to the postseason, make a wild card run, etc. But they got to work around the edges here. They've made too many mistakes in late game moments, etc. if they want to be a team that goes far into the postseason.
couple more messages on the YouTube
Oh, the
stream.
YouTube's blowing up today, Josh.
Says, can't wait for Dombrowski to overwhelm again at the deadline. Duran was a nice pickup last year, but outside of that, he said nothing at the deadline.
Yeah, I mean, Duran was that was a great trade that they made last year. Duran had, I know what happened the other night, but relatively, he's been very good throughout the rest of the season, and he's not my concern.
And Duran was not a rental, right? I mean,
No,
he's
you have
here.
to keep him.
He's here to stay.
Yeah, and I wouldn't trade him either at the deadline. I would just trade as many top prospects as you can. Miller, Gage Wood. I don't even care about Painter anymore. You could trade Painter. Your time is right now to try and go for it.
They should have traded Painter last year.
I agree. But we were all kind of like, we want to see what Painter gives us, even though he was struggling in AAA.
But the timing of this is just not great. I mean,
no.
To get swept by Miami and then to go into this weekend, I mean, if you lose 2 or 3 to Baltimore, then what is the
That's where I
Are
look
you
at
adding to this team?
That's where I look at. I think you get a bounce back start from Wheeler. I think you get a bounce back start from Sanchez. And Baltimore struggling as well. And by the way, we're giving away a free ride down to Baltimore this weekend. So you want to come on out to Vetnor Social as well and stop by and sign up and try and win that prize down to Baltimore. You want to see Phils and O's. Look, the Phils get back on track against the Baltimore Orioles. I think they can. I think with Sanchez, I think with Wheeler, those guys going on Saturday and Sunday, I think you're in a good spot to try and get back on track here. And that's what's going to carry them. That's why I've been so emphatic about them getting another starter at the deadline, because I think you can win with really good pitching. And, if you don't have to give up as much to get another bat, because anything can really improve the outfield at this point. But if you can go into the deadline and get another starter or a bullpen piece, etc., pitching is what could help this team carry them through the postseason. That's just my opinion, because you can never, ever, ever have enough pitching, ever, Pete.
Well, they had the pitching last year against the Dodgers. They did a pretty darn good job in that series against LA.
Starting
pitching. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have that same pitching staff anymore.
No, you
don't
do
have
not.
a Ranger. Guys are a little bit older. You do have Wheeler back this year.
You still have the Wheeler, Sanchez, Luzardo top 3.
The bullpen has also struggled too, and that's where it's like you need to add another bullpen arm as well, especially with the injuries.
This roster is good enough to be a buyer at the deadline.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
They're still going to make the playoffs.
This little rut right now, I think, is like, okay, you see the hole. You could see the holes, because this is what you don't want to happen in the postseason if you are the Phillies, and that's why you had the comment from Bryce.
You just
Harper.
don't want this thing to blow up, right?
No.
I mean, you do not want the Harper Dombrowski dynamic to kind of blow up in your face.
You're elite. You're not elite. You're actually elite. You haven't been elite. Enough.
So if I'm Dave Dombrowski, I take the hint.
Yes.
And I add to this team.
Yes. I
put my ego aside.
Just go for it.
And I listen to my superstar who committed 13 years to this city and to this organization. Go out at the deadline, and I go for it.
Go for it. 609-403-0973 is how you jump aboard. Get in on the text line. Your thoughts on the Phils. Give me your X factor for the Sixers heading into next season with LeBron. Give me one of those 5. Who's your biggest X factor? We'll reach your text later on in the show. The YouTube chat has been on fire today, so keep the comments coming. I am Nick Earnshaw alongside Pete G. Mike McGarry from the Press of AC joins us next right here on the Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN.
We have the Phillies covered.
Swinging and drive, right field, way back, forget it, out of here. Kyle Schwarber hammers one over the right field wall.
Get the best Phillies baseball coverage on the Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first, but when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
It's the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
And I am the voice of the voiceless.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
We are back live at Vetnor Social. Nick Earnshaw, Nicky Nuggets, alongside Cheap Seats Pete G, filling in for Mike Gill today. Come on down to Vetnor Social, grab a bite to eat, grab a couple of drinks. Always have a great time out at Vetnor Social. The interns will sign you up because we are giving away a free bus trip to Camden Yards this weekend to see the Fightins and the Orioles. So come on down, sign up for that. We'll give that away a little bit later in the show. But now it is time for Mike McGarry from the Press of AC, at Press of AC McGarry on X or Twitter, whatever you prefer to call it. Mike, thanks so much for joining us today. And wow, what a series it was against the Miami Marlins. Yeah, it's certainly changed everything. Them coming in with 12 straight losses, and now the Phillies, they've lost 3 straight, and the Marlins have won 3 in a row. Listen, Mike, for this team, heading into the trade deadline, I mean, at this point, what is the number one need for this team right now?
And Mike, that leads me into my question about Bryce Harper's comments last night, and then Don Mattingly's comments before the game. And obviously, Dave Dombrowski can't revamp this entire team in 3 days. We all know that. But what did you make of Bryce's comments, kind of hinting at Dombrowski that I need help, we need the reinforcements, and then what did you make of Donnie Baseball's comments before the game, kind of protecting his son a little bit there in the front office?
We're talking with Mike McGarry, press of AC McGarry on X. Mike, for Dave Dombrowski heading into Monday and this trade deadline this year, is this a make or break deadline for Dombrowski heading into the offseason, even with the possibly impending lockout? Mike, is that why you may be resistant to give up maybe a guy like a Gage Wood or an Aiden Miller at this year's trade deadline and kind of just maybe go for those marginal type moves that Dombrowski has kind of done throughout his tenure as the Phillies president of baseball operations? Right. Mm-hmm.
And Mike, this is kind of a loaded question, but I'll ask it to you. Do you think that the players have taken the right amount of accountability this season? You just talked about Topper being fired and people losing their jobs. And this comes after Harper's comments where he's really not blaming anyone. He's kind of just stating the obvious. The roster hasn't been good enough the last 3 years, and why running it back, a fourth time would be a good idea. But do you think the players have taken the right amount of accountability this season?
We're talking with Mike McGarry, press of AC McGarry on X. Mike, the rumblings and the discussion surrounding Bryce Harper, maybe moving back to the outfield possibly if a move comes at the deadline where they get a first baseman or another infielder. What do you make and how realistic is it that he could move to the outfield?
I wanted to follow up on the Bryce Harper comments again, Mike. Are you starting to worry about the Bryce Harper and front office dynamic? I mean, we've had the Dombrowski non-elite comments before the season. Bryce Harper now makes these comments yesterday. Don Mattingly kind of openly kind of goes against Bryce Harper's comments and kind of sides with the front office there. Are you starting to worry about this Bryce Harper dynamic with the front office moving forward?
Well, we'll see if they can do it. We're actually giving away a bus trip down to Camden Yards this weekend here at Vetnor Social. So come on down and sign up if you are listening out there. Mike, we appreciate it. We're looking forward to that series this weekend. We'll see if Sanchez and Wheeler, they can find a way. Yep. There you go. Mike McGarry, Press of AC, at Press of AC McGarry on X and Twitter. We always appreciate you coming on, Mike. All right. There's Mike McGarry, Press of Atlantic City. Very interesting comments there.
Very interesting.
It's going to be a fascinating couple of days with the trade deadline up and all that good stuff. Oh, man. What a weekend it's going to be in Baltimore.
Mike mentioned Don Mattingly. I'm Don Mattingly, dude. You know, like it's one thing for Topper to be in charge here.
Now
but
it's Donnie Baseball.
When you have a guy like Donnie Baseball butting heads with Bryce Harper, it's got two big egos.
By the way, the 3 p.m. hour is sponsored by Broadlee's Plumbing, Heating, and AC. Broadlee's is your trusted source for heating, plumbing, service, and installation for generations. Call them at 609-390-3907 or visit them at broadlees.net. All right, on the other side, we're going to get the unsportsmanlike moment of the day. Evan Cohen, he reacted to something Bryce said last night. We'll see what that entails. On the other side, I am Nick Earnshaw, Pete G, riding shotgun today. Josh Henning back at the studio. This is the Sports Bash right here on 97.3 ESPN.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Never thought this radio stunt would catch on so big.
On 97.3 ESPN.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700, plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy Posturepedic mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
You have the choice. Whether it's dining out, grabbing takeout, planning a fun night out, or spending the day with family, those choices help put money right back into your community. And Town Square Media South Jersey is proud to spotlight great local businesses like Serene Custard and Mini Golf in Vineland, delicious homemade custard, and a fun 18-hole mini golf experience the whole family will love. Perched in the heart of Atlantic City's University District, Birdcage is the ultimate destination for great food, killer cocktails, and good vibes. Yuri's Waterfront Restaurant has been a Wildwood dining tradition since 1956. Your entire family will be swept away to the tropics at this affordable family dining destination. Chico & Sons in Northfield, voted #1 sub shop in South Jersey year after year. ChicoandSons.com. When your family's ready for fun, visit the Range on 9 for golf, batting cages, mini golf, ice cream, and more. Learn more at therangeon9.com. That's therangeon9.com. Thank you for supporting these great local businesses from Town Square Media, South Jersey.
Those comments are 1,000% on Dave Dombrowski. He opened the floodgates. He opened the doors to critiquing each other as a way of motivation. Dave Dombrowski has been an unbelievably successful general manager in this sport. Marlins, Tigers, Red Sox, now Phillies. He's been insanely successful. When he questioned Bryce Harper and his ability, he opened the floodgates to publicly critique each other if things with that team are not sufficient. So while I don't love what Bryce Harper did yesterday, I do understand why he did it. Because the person he reports to told him, we're going to air out the real dirty laundry publicly. And guess what? They're not doing a show. When we air out our dirty laundry amongst us, we're 3 years into comfort, and dirty laundry is funny and fun for people to consume. They're a baseball team trying to win as many games as possible. It's the show, but not to put on a show. A lot different.
And that is your unsportsmanlike moment of the day. Evan Cohen on Bryce Harper's comments from last night. And that is brought to you by Yuri's in Wildwood, the seafood extraordinary, the value tremendous, the sunset on the house, Yuri's Waterfront Restaurant, and the Boathouse Restaurant at the foot of the bridge in Wildwood. Experience the best of the Jersey Shore at Yuri's and the Boathouse. I'm with Evan Cohen there. I have no problem with Bryce saying they need some help. They have needed help throughout the past couple of years. So when Bryce speaks, I'm cool with it. And listen, if him and Dave Dombrowski want to keep sparring a little bit, throwing jabs at each other in the media, so be it. Got to find a way to win games.
I don't like that at all. I know McGarry's not worried about it.
I'm not worried about it.
You're not worried about it, but the timeline to me is not good. When Dombrowski calls out Harper, Harper calls out Dombrowski, Mattingly calls out Harper. Did I get that right?
Well, I think that Harper would have a little more cachet here in this situation heading into next year. Could Dombrowski be on the outs and just say that's enough for my career? I don't know. I'm fine.
Too much drama for me, man.
But they do need help. Bryce is not wrong. And when he speaks, I'm going to listen. I'm going to be like, okay, I'm cool. And listen,
they definitely need help. I just don't like the drama.
I've been critical of Bryce in the past. However, I'm okay with him saying, hey, We need a little bit of help at the deadline. Can you help us out, Dave?
Are you okay with Mattingly calling out Harper?
I don't really feel like Mattingly called out Harper. I feel like it was more like Mattingly just passive aggressively defending the front office because his son is in the front office. I think that's what that was about.
But he sided with the front office. I mean, that
right. He's passively aggressively defending the front office. What I said.
And remember, he still has the interim tag on. So remember, I don't think Donnie Baseball will probably, unless they go on some type of magical run.
Is Donnie Baseball doing too much of the I'm Don Mattingly, I don't care what you say?
Maybe.
But isn't this what people asked for?
Exactly. This is what people wanted. People wanted the baseball guy, Don Mattingly, to be the manager. People want to hear Bryce Harper talk. You put the microphone in front of his face, he's going to say something. And by the way, no one's talking about the fact that, he was struggling. He buzz cut his head, and all of a sudden he's hit the last 2 days. How about we talk about that part? Harper's doing what he needs to do. Evan Cohen is right. It's up to Dave Dombrowski now to put up or shut up because he opened his big fat mouth last offseason, and Dombrowski wants to keep on coming out and saying, we got a good farm system. People are calling about our farm system. Well, now the onus is on Dombrowski. You open this can of worms. Now it's up to you to stop twiddling your thumbs, go out there, make some moves because you want to tell us how you're a great GM, how you've been to the World Series with the Tigers and the Red Sox and the Marlins. All right, well, now it's time to get the Phillies back into contention for the World Series.
And Josh, he has not given up those prospects like he did with the other teams. He usually, in the past, he went all in at a deadline, gave up the prospects, and got gigantic talent back. Are we going to see that on Monday? We shall find
Well, not this
out.
Monday, but next Monday.
Yeah, next Monday.
Right.
Next Monday.
This upcoming Monday, yeah.
Yeah. It's Wednesday, right? What day is it?
Wednesday.
Nobody knows what day it is because you know what? We got the Eagles in training camp. We got LeBron coming to Philadelphia, and the Phillies are an abomination right now.
Yep. 609-403-0973. Coming up next, Andrew DeCecco for football at 4. We're going to get all the stuff going on at training camp. Jalen Carter gets a new contract. There's also an Eagle who's going on the PUP list. We'll get all that and more with Andrew DeCecco coming up. Football at 4, and we'll get to your Sixers and Phillies text later on in the 4 o'clock hour. And also, we have some jerky, we have some Pete's Pizza, and a nugget coming up next. This is the Sports Bash.
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Tipped in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Football at 4 brought to you by Ocean Casino Resort, the best place for game days. The Fanatic Sportsbook and Ocean Casino's gallery bar booking games is Ocean's go-to game day destination with huge screens, great drinks, and all the sportsbooks action you want. It's the perfect place to catch every play and celebrate every win. Everything, every game day hits different at Ocean. It's now time for Football at 4. Andrew DeCecco is joining us. Nick Earnshaw alongside PG. Now, Andrew, big news coming down yesterday as the Eagles finally agreed to a 4-year, $152 million deal worth up to $160 million deal with Jalen Carter. It finally got done, Andrew, and how did it get done? Andrew, now what does this mean going forward for guys like Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell? I know Howie Roseman spoke earlier today along with Nick Sirianni. What does it mean for those guys and their potential contracts long term?
Does that mean, Andrew, maybe sacrificing a guy like Nolan Smith or Moro Jomo coming up, though? I mean, obviously Cooper DeJean and Quinyon are the two main guys, but sacrificing maybe a Nolan Smith or a Moro Jomo coming up here? Andrew, today Roseman said his famous mantra: draft, develop, and re-sign. When it comes to roster building in the NFL, how important is that to have that philosophy that Roseman has had for years in that draft, develop, and re-sign?
We're talking with Andrew DeCecco, football at 4. Nick Earnshaw, PG, filling in for Mike Gill today, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast. Andrew, you were down at the first day of training camp today. Any takeaways you noticed from the first day of camp? Yep. Yesterday, the news was Jalen Carter. Today was a little bit of injury news with Jonathan Grenard. He goes on the PUP list to start camp with a pectoral strain. Any updates you can provide the audience, Andrew, with Grenard's injury?
Andrew, this might be a question for a couple weeks down the line, but I'm going to ask it to you. Should we anticipate that the Eagles kind of go away from their philosophy of not playing their guys in the preseason games with the new offensive coordinator and the brand new offense that these players are going to have to go through here? Should we anticipate a change of philosophy here from these Eagles?
Andrew DeCecco inside the Birds. One more before you go. The LeBron James conversation made its way through camp. I was seeing all that go through. What were some of the interesting answers that you saw from some of the players? Saquon, I know, was asked about it. Jalen, Devontae Smith. I mean, that buzz is continuing through training camp. Am I right? Yeah, it was stunning. A lot of the players were talking about it through camp today. First day of training camp for the Philadelphia Eagles. Andrew DeCecco inside the Birds. Thank you so much for joining us at Football at 4, man. All right, there's Andrew DeCecco, and that Football at 4 segment is brought to you by Ocean Casino Resort, the best place for game days. The Fanatic Sportsbook and Ocean Casino's gallery, bar, book, and games is Ocean's go-to game day destination with huge screens, great drinks, and all the sportsbook action you want. It's the perfect place to catch every play and celebrate every win. Big screens, big bets, game day hits different at Ocean. To learn more, visit theoceanac.com. Don't forget to check out all the live entertainment, including Joey Diaz, Friday, August 7th, and Sebastian Maniscalco, September 17th through 20th, and the 24th through 27th. Great stuff from Andrew DeCecco right there. First day of training camp. It's like training camp kind of got forgotten a little bit, PG, with all the LeBron news going on, and now the Phillies, etc. Of course, the players were asked about it and talked about it throughout training camp. Jalen Hurts commented, Saquon, Andrew mentioned Jordan Davis. I saw Devontae, the known Celtics fan.
Roseman Sirianni got asked about
everybody.
it, yeah.
I mean, it was just flowing through, and it's like, oh, yeah, training camp started today.
Yeah, and Roseman, and I asked Andrew about this, Roseman said that his philosophy is to draft, develop, and re-sign. And you're seeing it the last few years of the great drafting that he's done and the development that the Eagles have been able to get out there, and then the re-signing of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And Jalen Carter this week, huge to get him re-signed. And now Quignon and Cooper DeJean, those guys will be next.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal. We led off the conversation with the Jalen Carter news, him signing the big-time long-term contract with the Philadelphia Eagles. It was talked about, and finally got done. You expected them to not let Jalen Carter hit the open market next year. And, you know, Dan Orlovsky was on ESPN yesterday, and he talked about how Philadelphia deserves credit for drafting and developing Jalen Carter, who gets a contract just like this. Take a listen.
It's also a great job by Philly. You go back to the draft situation. He was falling in the draft. Philly says our culture is good enough. We think we have the right people around him. Kobe Dean being such a big part of that. They're doubling down, you know, saying, okay, not only did we draft him, we're going to give him a ton of money because we still believe that not only is the future bright on the field, but we're going to trust the character off as well.
Yeah, and they're going to need to. He's going to need to be able to prove, like, hey, I'm worth this money. I'm bought in. I'm not going to do anything dumb off the field or even on the field at times, get thrown out the first game last year, because at times he is the most dominant interior defensive lineman there is. There's no question about it, Pete.
And now it's going to be up to Carter to stick with it and be great, right? Yep. Go down in history as one of the best Eagles defensive tackles, defensive players of all time. He's got the money. He's got the contract. Now it's up to Carter to just go out there and be great.
Yep. And Adam Schefter, I mean, he talked about this. The Eagles have a plan. Remember, they signed Jordan Davis to a long-term extension. Now Jalen Carter, and they have other young players they're going to have to give contracts to. But here's what Schefter said on ESPN as well, talking about how they have a plan for their young players.
The Eagles have doubled down on Jalen Carter. They've doubled down in a lot of different ways here because this was an offseason in which they re-signed both their young defensive tackles here, Jordan Davis and now Jalen Carter. And now, next offseason, they're looking at two of their defensive backs, two of the top players in the NFL, Cooper DeJean and Quignon Mitchell, both being contract eligible. They're going to have to double down on their defensive backs. And at some point, you wonder if you can keep all these players, but clearly they have a plan.
Yeah, they absolutely do have a plan. And it also starts with the interior of the defensive line, right? Locking up Jordan Davis, locking up Jalen Carter, because Howie Roseman, he spoke earlier today in a press conference along with Nick Sirianni, and he talked about the defensive tackle and interior defensive line talent, how it's tough to come by in today's league. Take a listen to what Howie said earlier today.
The defense tackle position in the league, in college football, it's a deficient position. You know, there's hard to find guys like that. And so we feel like it was a priority. Where the market was when March opened was kind of in transition. You know, you had guys like Dex ready to sign, obviously Simmons. And so some of the reasons that it got to this point were just because we were trying to figure out the market.
There you go.
That's a guy who has his finger on the pulse.
He just knows. I mean,
of what is happening in the NFL.
Howie Roseman, I believe he said something. You pointed this out to me, Pete, that at the end of the press conference, he said what?
About if you.
Yeah, he said at the end of the press conference that, you know, they were asking about re-signing other players. And he said if any Eagle fans have like the uniform of the players, the favorite player, they can keep those uniforms. They're going to re-sign everybody.
Yeah, we fully intend for those guys to be here on the long term. Now, that is obviously
those jerseys,
pointing to Quignon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Not maybe, and I asked Andrew this, Nolan Smith could be the guy that gets sacrificed, or Jalix Hunt. He mentioned that as well. So,
well, Nolan Smith,
you can't keep everybody.
But don't forget, guys, also, Nolan Smith is a guy who seriously had a regression.
He did.
You know, he was a guy that we saw him have that big run, helping you get to a Super Bowl and win it. And then he got injured, right? And then he came back last year and he got injured again and got injured again. And he just hasn't been the same outside of that 1 3-month run before or after it. Meanwhile, Jalix Hunt is ascending. And I think big reason why you acquired, you made the trade to acquire, I should say, Jonathan Grenard, was because of Nolan Smith really is a non-factor.
Yep.
Don't forget, you had the signs of Darius Smith the day after the Cowboys game, week 1 last year, because your pass rush was giving you next to nothing.
And those guys could be the next Milton Williams and Josh Sweat, guys that you drafted guys that you developed into high caliber players, and you just can't keep everybody. So Nolan Smith, Moro Jomo, those two guys could be the next Josh Sweat and Milton Williams.
Well, guys, don't you think that Howie's saying what he said about, hey, there's a deficiency of defensive tackle? Is that maybe a tongue-in-cheek statement to everybody that, hey, we're prioritizing Davis, Carter, and he mentioned Jomo in the press conference.
Yeah.
We're prioritizing these guys because we know that our defensive end, fill in the blank, Nolan Smith, isn't good enough.
Well, how have the Eagles won in the past, right? How have they won in 17? How have they won just a couple of years ago, right? They win through the trenches, whether it's the offensive side, whether it's the defensive side. It is no shock to me that Howie Roseman's going to put a lot of investment into his interior defensive line, on the edges, etc. It does not matter. They are going to build through the trenches no matter what. That's how they have won in the past. So this doesn't shock me at all. And listen, good for them finding these players in the draft, developing them. I know Jalen Carter kind of just fell in their lap, but guys like Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell,
for
this is huge.
Roseman to hit on two corners like that is unheard of.
But then that's why you
can't let those guys get away.
After like this is when you got to start paying guys. When they cheap, you got everybody together, but then you make decisions,
right? And that's why
decisions.
And that's
Which
why
could
made the decision that they weren't going to overpay to keep Reed or to keep Nakobe, because in Nakobe's case, he couldn't stay healthy. And in Reed's case, listen, he went and got banked from Houston. Good for him, but Philadelphia was going to give him some crazy big contract.
Yep. 609-403-0973 is how you jump aboard to get into the conversation. We're talking a lot of Phillies today, Sixers as well, just wrapping up football at 4 right here. Our question of the day was, who is your biggest X factor when it comes to the Sixers starting 5 in the next year? Is it LeBron? Is it Maxey? Is it Edgecombe? Is it Joel Hans Embiid? Is it Jaylen Brown? Who to you is that guy? Let us know on the White Horse RV text board, 609-403-0973. We are live at Vetnor Social. Come on down, grab a drink, get something to eat, have a good time, hang out with us until 6. And you can also get a chance to win a prize, a big giveaway in going to Camden Yards and seeing the Phillies and Orioles this weekend, looking for the Phils to bounce back. We got a bus trip. We're giving it away. See our interns at the front door. Sign up. Get your name in the mix to possibly have a fun weekend and watching those fighting Phils this weekend as they look to bounce back against Baltimore. Coming up next, we have Nick's Nuggets, Pete's Pizza, and do we have a little jerky from Josh? That's coming up next right here on the Sports Bash, live from Vetnor Social on 97.3 ESPN. Welcome back in to the Sports Bash. Nicky Nuggets, Pete G filling in for Mike Gill. We are live from Vetnor Social, having a good time. We are also giving away a bus trip to this weekend's Baltimore series. Phils, Orioles, come on down, have a chance to win that prize. If you get down to Vetnor Social, grab a drink, grab a bite to eat, hang out with us, and sign up for your chance to win a bus trip to Phillies Orioles this coming weekend. Also giving away a couple other prizes, Riley Green tickets, Chris Stapleton, I know they got over there. So go see the interns as you walk in to Vetnor Social, as you grab a bite to eat and grab a drink. So come on down to Vetnor Social. Hang out with us until 6 o'clock. Nick Earnshaw, like I mentioned, filling in for Mike Gill today. And now it's time for the Nuggets. And we're going to do a little bit of a platter today. Since Mike is out, we got Josh and Pete G here. We're going to get everybody involved, but I'll start things off with my nugget. We've been talking a lot about the Phillies. We're talking about the trade deadline. But I want to talk about a guy the Phillies got at the trade deadline last year, Pete G and Josh Henning, okay? And that is one Harrison Bader, okay? So he's been out since the end of May. He's plantar fasciitis, so he's been out for a little bit in San Francisco. He's with the Giants now. And you know me, I've brought this up on Nuggets in the past. I love weird injuries, okay? I love the stories surrounding weird injuries because they just fascinate me on how that can happen. But something with Harrison Bader just has me scratching my head at this point. So he's not going to be on the Phillies list at the trade deadline coming up this coming Monday on August 3rd. So apparently he was returning to San Francisco to attend a doctor's appointment, okay? And that he had gotten into this addition to his injury. He had gotten in a scooter-related mishap. And this is not the first time he has gotten into a scooter-related mishap that has caused an injury. He also was suspended from team activities at the University of Florida following a late-night scooter crash in 2014. So Harrison Bader's setback on his injury is due to the fact he was riding a scooter and got into a scooter accident of some sort. Josh, PG, I'll let PG go first. Someone's got to take the scooter away from Harrison Bader. Like, scooters, you're playing in Major League Baseball.
Now, it was late at night, correct? So
yes.
He was on a scooter late at night, and he just got into an accident, and he re-aggravated his plantar fasciitis?
Yes,
That's
that
the
is
story?
correct. So he's been out since like May 29th, May 30th, late. And then on Tuesday, the San Francisco Giants said that the foot was further damaged in the crash that occurred Saturday, early Sunday
we don't
morning.
have the details. Did he run into a car?
We don't know.
Did he run into a stop sign?
We just know his injury was complicated from the crash. So
Yeah.
if you're already injured, why on earth are you riding a scooter around knowing damn well you got in a scooter accident in 2014 in
That's the first
college?
problem.
Come on, man. What are you thinking, Harrison Bader?
Josh?
This goes under the category of not smart. This goes into the category of not learning your lesson. This goes into the category of just being a bad decision maker. See, this is the kind of guy Howie Roseman would not give a contract extension to. Okay, because Howie would be like, "Hey, man, this guy's got some off the field issues that concern me, so I can't give him a contract extension." This is why the San Francisco the Giants are where they are, because they go out and give out big contracts to Harrison Bader and the Matt Chapman, who's getting old as dirt in front of our eyes, and guys like that. While the Phillies might be struggling right now, but the Phillies are going to make the playoffs. Giants are not, because guys like Harrison Bader can't stay out of scooter accidents.
And that was a good move by Dombrowski to not re-sign Bader.
Was
He
that
was
his best
rental.
move?
Probably. 'Cause
Was that his best move as
I
president
mean,
of baseball operations?
Bader
Not
only
Scott-
gave you 30 games this season, and he's batting 170.
I just don't understand. You've gotten the accident before. You're currently injured on your current club, and you still decide to go out with your scooter. What possibly could make you do that. I just don't understand.
Like, is he like a daredevil, you think? Like, what do you think this is?
He seemed like one.
He is on the field. Yeah, I mean, he'll go after those fly balls.
I mean, he's got some aura on the field. I'll give him that. He seems like a little bit of a daredevil.
He's got some evil Knievel in him, right?
But I mean, if you're like trying to come back and you have plantar fasciitis, I don't know if I think it's the greatest idea to go out on a scooter. Especially the best part of the story is it happened before. It happened 12 years ago to him. So you think, maybe he learned his lesson. Absolutely did not learn his lesson. And maybe Dave Dombrowski made the right call by not re-signing him here for doing something dumb like that.
So now my follow-up question is, do either of you guys have a story of riding a scooter or a bike or something, or in Pete's case, maybe back in the day was attempting a skateboard or something? It didn't go well for you.
No, I mean, I don't really have one. I fell off my bike once, but I've
fallen off my bike.
Yeah, but I don't have anything, like that. The worst injury I had growing up was probably when I was playing hockey. It was street hockey. I got nailed in the face by a stick. I had to get a butterfly right above my eye. Right above my eye, I have a scar. So if you ever see me in person and you're listening today, just ask me where the scar is above my eye. I had it right here.
Oh, I see it.
I got nailed, blood everywhere by a kid from a high stick.
Did he do it on purpose or by accident?
No, it was an accident. It was not on purpose. But
that does change the story a little bit.
It was, but that was a bad one. But like, it wasn't me doing something dumb,
No,
Pete,
and
what about you?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like the Andrew Bynum bowling incident. That was very costly. I mean, Kelly Oubre got hit by a car this season,
On his bike.
That was a couple years ago.
2 years
that was
ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, there
City.
were some interesting we've
had our fair share.
Yeah, it was a very fishy story, to be honest.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because I don't know if you guys, I know Nick saw it. Maybe you didn't see it, Pete, but I got a nice gnarly scar on my ribs now from the beach this week.
I did see this. And didn't you put out on your Instagram story, you said, comment, wrong answers only, how I got this injury.
Yeah, wrong answers only. I know somebody said I was hanging with Hennig too hard. I know somebody said I had a fight with ninjas. I saw someone said I lost a bet with Deadpool.
Oh my! I mean, like you go through the list of some dumb injuries, like Ricky Henderson in 1993. He got frostbite because he fell asleep with an ice pack strapped to his leg. Like there's just some John Smoltz burned his chest with a suit steamer. I mean, Max Scherzer, he had to recover after being bitten on his pitching hand by his own dog. Like there are some goofy ones. The scooter one, it's up there for me.
The Andrew Bynum one is probably takes the cake. Philadelphia sports wise.
Yep,
I mean,
has to.
Well, you didn't mention my favorite.
Which one?
My favorite is the Greg Holland story.
Oh,
for those who don't remember, the former Royals closer became the Rockies closer, got a big contract after winning the World Series, right?
Yep.
He cut his finger on his throwing hand because he was cooking for his kids.
I mean, anytime I see a dumb injury story, it will be a nugget on Nuggets. It has to be. It just has to be. So there you go. Harrison Bader, former Philly, continues his injury, re-injured himself, extended his injury, whatever you want to call it, by dumb scooter riding in the middle of the night. There you go.
All right, we've got a slice of pizza here.
All right, give me a slice of pizza.
Today's slice of pizza takes us to Wisconsin. I don't know if both you guys have seen the body cam footage of Tony Romo being arrested in Milwaukee on suspicion of operating while intoxicated.
So we're just continuing
OWI.
we're continuing the theory of dumb idiots.
Yes.
Tony
Romo treating his field sobriety test like an NFL combine left a lot of people stunned. I mean, if you break this video down from start to finish, you had him getting pulled over like in the middle of a bridge where incoming traffic is going, 70, 80 miles an hour. Tony Romo trying to call his lawyer before anything happened, right? Before he even stepped out of the car, he wanted to call his lawyer. He refused the test on site, so they had to take him back to the station.
Good grief.
He's doing back stretches before his test.
You know what? This slice of pizza This slice of pizza, you know why this kind of got buried for a couple of days? It's because it came out the same exact day as LeBron signing with the Sixers,
Right.
right
That's
around
correct.
the same time. That's why
correct.
it kind of got buried and no one was really talking about it. Now things are cooling off a little bit, and now all the body cam footage is coming
He's
out.
on his
and you're
way to
talking
see
about it.
grandma and grandpa after a golf outing. I mean, obviously the guy's got to take an Uber if he's impaired. That goes without saying, but just the video itself is it's bizarre.
Yeah, it's a very bizarre video. I got to watch it. I don't even know what to make of it. I mean, how does that happen to a guy like Tony Romo? I mean, seriously, what are you doing, dude? Like, what are these guys thinking? Scooters, driving under the influence? I mean, Josh, help me out here.
Well, there's a couple of big takeaways from this. Number one is the fact that, he had an open alcohol container in in the car with him.
Dude.
Right.
So
there was probable cause. Yeah. He
So
smelled like
they
alcohol.
smelled it. I know they smelled it.
Well,
Yeah,
he
you can
smelled
smell
it and his eyes glazed over. So number one, like, why are you driving with an open container? That's number one.
Just
okay.
come on,
Number two,
it's like a roadie.
If you watch the video, he's treating the female police officer like the only reason why she's talking to him because he's Tony Romo. So you already know that he's mentally not all there.
Yeah.
And then my favorite part is he says, I'm having trouble with some of these tests because of my back surgery.
Yeah, that took the cake for me.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he says, did I pass the test? Then he cuff him because I guess not. Like, the dude is obviously wasted.
Yeah.
And he's trying so hard to play it off.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get to, I don't know how old Tony Romo is. I'm assuming he's in his 40s. Like
46.
How do you get to his 46 years old and just be that dumb in life?
Yep. Listen,
Well,
we're 2-0 with dumb stories so
Yes.
far on the Nuggets segment.
And
right
one of the quotes on the body cam footage came from Romo saying, because I'm coming from a golf course, you think I'm drunk. That's what he said.
I saw that. Quote.
And the female police officer's like,
geez.
well, yeah, now that you mentioned it, yeah.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing with Tony Romo. He's already been kind of getting criticized for his lack of broadcast preparation. There's been reporting on that with Jim Nantz. They've talked about him not being the same type of analyst he was when he first started.
Right. I mean, when he first started, he was a
calling
darling.
out plays.
He was predicting plays.
The league's kind of passed him by. He's not right out of the league anymore.
The league got some game tape on him.
Yeah, so he's not able to call out these, plays anymore like he used to. So he didn't have to prep as much, clearly. And now the prep is catching up to him. We know the CBS executives, according to reports, have they're not in love with him right now.
I'd be curious to find out if CBS uses an opportunity to maybe get out of that big contract. They're paying him a lot of money to be on those broadcasts.
Yeah, so not a good look for Tony Romo.
If this thing happened during the season, right? It can die down a little bit.
Remember what happened?
That was very bad. That was not a good look at all. So these former player guys.
What is it with quarterbacks as well?
Yeah, it was both quarterbacks. Yeah, Sanchez and Tony Romo. Tony, at least Mark Sanchez, he got to two AFC championships, unlike Tony Romo.
Got through punches in.
Yeah, he did. All right, Josh, what do we got? We got some jerky for the last part of this buffet.
Well, I don't have any idiots for you.
We're going to go 3 for 3.
There's still some out there if you look hard enough.
I got another story for you guys. I thought Nick was going to go with this. But then as soon as you went Harrison Bader, I knew this story's all mine. Okay.
All right.
So 48 hours from he was joining the 76ers. He broke the record for most jersey by a player switching team in the Fanatics. The record was originally held by Shohei Ohtani in 2023. The number of Dodger jerseys, LeBron almost doubled Shohei Ohtani, according to Fanatics. So there is a lot of people, Boyd, in LeBron James, we thought.
Yeah, no, this is a global story. I mean, we had DeCecco on earlier for Football at 4, and we talked about it. Like every Eagle, it was brought up. Like every person who met with the media from the Eagles roster was brought up, or they brought it up, or were asked about it. I mean, everybody's talking about LeBron coming to Philadelphia. I mean, listen, when you have one of the greatest players of all time, whether you think he's better than Jordan or not, he is still such a massive force, not just in basketball, but pop culture and globally. He's got the shoes. I mean, he's been on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Him and Bryce Harper, remember, they were the chosen ones. I mean, this is how big of a deal it is. And when he makes a decision, everyone's paying attention as to where he can go. And the fact that he chose Philadelphia, a team that a lot of national people did not think had any shot of coming to, this is what happens. And it's the talk of the town. I mean, this is just a major story and storyline, not just across sports, but just globally.
So, and of course, there are some detractors out there, like a Dan Lebitard, who will fuel the conspiracy theories of the Fanatics.
Oh, they're all just crying.
The jersey sales, Michael Rubin, his connection to Josh Harris. You know, the tinfoil cap people
They're
are
just
out there.
butthurt. They are just butthurt that they did not get him back. That's what that seems like to me. He has no evidence on anything. He's just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks.
Well, also, some of these conspiracy.
Well, he is only making $4 million.
Well, here's the thing. The conspiracy theories can say, but what's wrong with trying to maximize your profits? He only got 2 more years potentially in the league, maybe 3. You know, get what you can before you get out the door. Why not?
He's looking at legacy and to make more money off of that legacy. That's what I mean. He makes plenty of money. Like, he doesn't need it. So, and you know, we talked about the story that came out on ESPN by David Meneman earlier in the show. Like, they know, like, if he is able to become and win a title and get that 5th championship, even 6th championship, what that will do for him to win in 4 different places, the first player to ever do that at his age as well.
In a city like Philadelphia, who hasn't seen a championship in over 40 years.
The money to be made off of that after his career is over is going to be exponential. So they're looking also long-term here as well.
So for you guys, looking at LeBron coming to Philly, speaking of jersey sales, if there was no cost involved, like if you didn't have to, it didn't cost money out of your pocket, even though I know both of you like to spend your money on these things.
On dumb
Tell
things.
my wife that.
Give me your top 3 style of Sixer jerseys that you want LeBron's name on.
The black AIs.
The
number one,
AIs.
right? The black AI, number 1.
Honestly, I'm going to throw a curveball to you guys. The Boathouse Row.
Okay, I like that. I'm down with that.
I like them. I was a fan of those. I know a lot of people did not like the Boathouse Row jerseys, but the Boathouse Row LeBron James jersey is absolutely outstanding.
Now, the Sixers Spectrum
jersey's cool.
Yeah,
I just
like
want
that.
the plain blue one, too. The plain blue one I'm cool with. So I would go Iverson era. I would go Boathouse Row and then the plain blue.
Yeah.
So
I do not like the Filla. They have too many of those.
Yeah, they got a lot of those.
They do have too
different
many
variations.
Yes.
What about you, Josh?
So I definitely agree on the black Iverson era jersey, but I also say, can we get a white Iverson era LeBron jersey?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Now, I'm a big Jersey guy, so I tend to go Jersey a lot, too.
Well, you can.
What do you mean you can? It's a cheaper option.
I don't like going Jersey when it comes to baseball.
So would you go Jersey for basketball?
I would go Jersey for basketball.
I'm big on the Jersey. I've been a big Jersey guy when jerseys really started getting ridiculously expensive. I just started going
as soon as
Jersey.
Fanatics took over.
Yeah. So when it started going getting out of hand, I went Jersey. I will probably get the Jersey first because that might be the first one in stock. I mean, you can't get I don't think you're going to be able to get a jersey in person or online until at least November, December.
Well, I mean, you don't think you could go to the Xfinity Mobile Arena and get it in person, get it right then and there?
We'll see.
If you're
see, 'cause I
first
think
in
they were
line-
behind on this. So
Yeah,
there you go. Josh, I know we got a couple texts.
Yeah, a couple texts coming in. Jeff from Ocean City says, you guys remember the Jason Pierre-Paul fireworks incident?
Oh, yeah. That's a classic.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember when that came out. Oh, jeez. He still played a few years after that. It was effective.
He was, yeah. No fingers, didn't matter.
Nope, didn't matter.
James in Delaware says, anyone remember the Donovan McNabb DUI arrest after he retired?
Oh, yeah.
That's happened a couple times with Donovan, hasn't it?
Rico chimes in as well on the White Horse RV text board at 609-403-0973. He says, I'm wondering if Romo is like Tiger Woods, might have an addiction issue. At least if you're going to make fun of the problem, let's make mention if they need help, they should get it. Great show otherwise, guys, says Rico.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was, I mean, when you have a job like that and you're in a position like he is in, you can't make mistakes as that.
I just never understand, and maybe you guys can explain it better than I can, but like if you have money, right? You got the kind of money that a guy like a Romo or
Get a driver.
Get a driver. Like, why?
Get a driver.
I know this story. Apparently, Tiger Woods is very an untrusting guy. He doesn't want to get a random driver, but like hire a personal driver. Like, go out and have a guy that you rely on. Go find your Alfred like Batman has.
So you're not in a position like Tony Romo was. Yeah, I'm with you on the driver thing. I think we talked about that when the whole Tiger thing dropped not too long ago. So there you go. All right. So we got a piece of jerky from Josh, a slice of pizza from Pete, and one nugget from me, Nick Earnshaw, filling in for Mike Gill today alongside Cheap Seats Pete, which the seats are no longer going to be cheap for the 76ers.
We had someone stop by the table today and said you can't get a cheap seat anywhere.
No, there's going to be no cheap
Philadelphia
seats.
now.
No cheap seats anymore for the 76ers game. My time is Nicky Nosebleeds for the $20 seats that I would get all the time, go to the game last second, are out the window.
Which we were talking, would it be cheaper to drive to Cleveland, go see LeBron with the Sixers against the Cavs, a little road trip?
I think it's going to be expensive no matter where you go.
No matter where you go.
No matter where you go. All right, there you go. There's the Nugget segment, a platter today from everybody. Coming up next, we're going to continue to talk Philadelphia Phillies, and we might even get Jeff Kerr to jump on in just a couple of minutes. So stay tuned for that as we might do a little Phillies fastball, last-second fastball here today as the Phillies fall to the Miami Marlins 8-6. But come on down. We got an hour left here. Vetnor Social. We're giving away a prize and a giveaway, a bus trip to Baltimore this weekend to see the Titans and the Baltimore Orioles. So you want to sign up for that. I've seen people going up to the interns the whole time and signing up to absolutely try and win a prize today. All right. With that being said, on the other side, we'll talk some Titans and possibly Jeff Kerr. You're right here on 97.3 ESPN.
South Jersey's official play-by-play home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
At 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Welcome back in. It is the Sports Bash. Nick Earnshaw, Nicky Nuggets, alongside PG and Josh heading back in the studio. We are broadcasting live from Vetnor Social. Come on down. We're here for another hour. We got the interns. Sign up for the giveaway this weekend. A trip to Baltimore to see the Phillies and the Orioles. So come on down. Got a couple of minutes left to get your name in for a chance to win that big prize, as well as ticket giveaways as well. The interns are doing a great job. Riley Green tickets, Chris Stapleton tickets, the whole nine. Come on down to Vetnor Social. And by the way, today's Phillies Fastball is brought to you by Vetnor Social. It is the place to go to catch every Phillies game on their 20 big screen TVs while enjoying great food and drinks. Visit their Facebook page for up-to-date info and specials, plus the Sports Bash with Mike Gill broadcasting live on location on Vetnor Ave in Vetnor, which is where we are at today. And it is time for the Phillies Fastball. We welcome in Jeff Kerr. Jeff, tough one today. Good to talk to you. But another loss that it was done by the bullpen and Don Mattingly's decision-making. Walk me through what you saw today.
Not good, right? When it's 6-0 game, you're thinking, okay, maybe this team gets a win on the road. It's a getaway game. I did not like Jesus Luzardo being in as long as he did. I did not like the Seth Johnson decision. I'm like, okay, I get it. You want to see if this guy can pitch in high-leverage situations, but how many chances are you going to get? It seems like you ditched Ryan Kerkering pitching late in games before you ditched Seth Johnson pitching late in games. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand why it was Bowen in that spot, and that Bowen pitches in the 8th and gives up the home run. It's just, I don't know. Just being in the clubhouse, and look, I haven't been on the road, obviously, since Bryce Harper made his comments, but something feels fractured right now. If I was Bryce Harper's teammate, I wouldn't be too happy.
Jeff, talk to me about those Bryce Harper comments. He last night kind of essentially telling Dave Dombrowski out in public to the media, hey, we need some help. And, they clearly need some help, whether it's another right-handed bat or it's a bullpen arm or it's a starting pitching piece. I mean, they're at a point now where they're struggling mightily, and the deadline is right around the corner. It's Monday. They can't fix everything at this point. From your perspective, what can they do to just at least help this team coming down the stretch here?
Well, let me address the Harper stuff. I don't have a problem with what he said, but
here do I.
It also tells me as a teammate, you don't think I'm good enough? These are the guys that, I'm the guy you're going blood, sweat, and tears with. I can't think of it this way, right? I'm trying to compare it to other sports. Can you imagine Jalen Hurts would say, our passing game isn't good enough. We don't have good enough wide receivers.
AJ Brown did say that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you imagine the vitriol he would get? I feel like Harper's getting a little bit off the hook here because he is right, but, dude, Bryce, you're at 160 in July, man. Like, part of it's you.
Yeah, part of it is him. And the fact is, like, he's right because Dave Dombrowski has not made the moves you thought he would make. And the young guys didn't pan out. Like Andrew Painter just did not pan out, goes back down to AAA. Justin Crawford's been fine, but hasn't been that impact type of player you were hoping for because you put it all on the young guys to do that. What can Dave Dombrowski do with this deadline, Jeff?
I would improve between the margins, right? I would get probably a high leverage arm. I'm not saying go get Aroldis Chapman's not going to be available, but don't get like a Mason Miller.
Right.
Don't sell the farm for that. But there are guys you could get in the bullpen. You can get a left-handed reliever. You can get a right-handed reliever and not have to pay much. I don't think they should I don't know if there's a right-handed bat available from what I'm hearing. A very good right hand. Like you can get a Joe Adele and probably give up like a mid-level prospect or two for it. Fine. That makes your team better. I understand that. But I don't think there's a big fish out there per se. Like maybe Byron Buxton, but do you really want to sell the farm on this team for Byron Buxton? I don't think I want to do that.
Yeah, that's my question, Jeff. Is this really just reality setting in for this team? This team was 9-19 at one point. Rob Thompson was fired as the manager, scapegoat or not. Brandon Marsh has come back down to earth after being an all-star this season. The outfield's filled with platoons now. Is this reality just setting in for this team right now that, hey, they're just not that very good?
P, I still think they're a good team, right? They never play well in July. They didn't play well in July after the All-Star break 2 years ago. They didn't play in July after the All-Star break last year, and they're continuing this trend. The problem is 2 years ago, they were like 30 over 500 in July. Last year, they were like 20, 25 over 500. So you're like, okay, whatever. It's a July swoon. Get me to October. Now you're not even sure October's a guarantee. And the holes on this team are as blatant as can be. You don't have a number 4, number 5 star. And Aaron Nola's pitched well for that, by the way. But by my low expectations. But you don't have that number 5 star. You haven't won a game when the number 5's turn the rotation has occurred since May 18th. That's a problem. You thought you fixed the bullpen, right? Jose Alvarado, you thought was going to have a good year. Tanner Banks, you thought he was going to capitalize. He's been good since he came here, but this year he's stunk. And Tim Mays has been your best left-handed reliever. Someone had told me that in March. I would have said they're in trouble. And they're in trouble. Orion Kirkring's been good. Johan Duran's been good. Jonathan Bowen's been good. But you just don't have that left-handed reliever. And you don't have that right-handed bat. And you knew that coming in. And Adolis Garcia getting hurt did not help this team. Trey Turner having a bad year did not help this team. Bryson Stott's been fine, like he normally is. Alec Boehm's he had a terrible start. He's been okay since. That's not good. And the Stars just haven't produced in July. So, yeah, you're seeing all the holes. They're very top-heavy. They got into a 9-19 hole, and give them credit. They dug their way out of it, but that takes a toll on you as a baseball team, and we're seeing the after effects of it.
Are you starting to worry, Jeff, about the dynamic and the relationship Bryce Harper has with this front office? Going back to the elite comments before the season started, fast forward to yesterday, Bryce Harper makes a cry for help. Today, Don Mattingly kind of sides with the front office. Are you starting to worry about this dynamic between Harper and the front office?
Were any of you guys shocked Don Mattingly sided with his son?
No. But he
not
did,
one bit.
He did kind of call out Harper a little bit with what he said.
Yeah. I do think Harper needs to be held accountable. I really do. I put up the stats today. His OPS, his batting average is lower than last year. His slugging's around the same. On-base percentage is about the same. And his OPS is slightly lower. Not much, by the way. But when you look at the body of work, look at the last 2 years compared to the previous 3. He's not elite anymore. And he has to come to grips on that. He has to stop with the violent swings. He has to stop thinking he can change the game on one swing. You're still a really good player. Are you elite anymore? I don't know. I still think there's another good year or two in Bryce Harper. I really do. But I am getting tired of this whole, I'm going to talk to the media when I want to. And I'm going to get my message out when I want to. And I think that's what they're upset about. Because every other time he disappears. I mean, I see it in the clubhouse. Look, and I like how he speaks his mind. I don't have a problem with what he said, but back it up today. Don't make Trey Turner stand up there and face everybody. Be a man. Go up there and do it again.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, look, what do you think of Don Mattingly's comments? I like the back and forth. I like how Don Mattingly kind of backtracked him because I do think he needs to be held accountable, but at the same time, and I get Bryce is upset. Bryce is absolutely right to demand this from this front office, but I think a lot of people right now got to look in the mirror on this team, and it's not just Bryce Harper.
Yeah, it's been a tough stretch since the All-Star break, Jeff. We're speaking with Jeff Kerr, 97.3 ESPN.com, covers the Phillies for SI as well. Jeff, I sit here and I wonder, is this a team that's worth selling the farm for at the trade deadline? they don't have a ton of ammo. I know you cover a lot of the games going down to seeing some of these players in the farm system, but it just doesn't seem like they have a ton of ammo, and the ammo they do have to trade away in their farm system, is it going to be enough to even bring back something that is going to make a significant impact on this roster?
This is the issue here. Look, Ramon Marquez, he's in Jersey Shore right now. He's a pitcher, right-hand pitcher. He's really good. He's probably their best rising prospect in the system right now. He's moving up the boards. I think teams want him. I shouldn't say I think, I know. I wouldn't trade him. Not for a rental. Certainly not. Gage Wood. They need starting pitching. They need to develop starting pitching. Gage Wood and Ramon Marquez can be two guys to do that. Don't do it. Don't sell Andrew Painter low. Ryan Heredia in Reading, I think they would trade for maybe a piece, like a reliever or something. That's fine. He's their number 29, number 30 prospect. He hits home runs, doesn't really get on base. He's kind of getting the Reading boom right now. It's fine. Dante Nori, you can't really trade. He's been hurt. He's got a broken hip. He's been out since June 5th. I wouldn't even think about trading Francisco Renteria. That guy's a stud. That's 17 years old. Like, everybody's dismissing him. I'm like, no, you don't dismiss players like that. I've been told by people he might be up on the big league club in 3 years, and he's 17. He hasn't turned 18 till January. That's a core piece. I don't think I would sell the farm. I know the fan base doesn't want to hear that, but you know what? It's not good to go ring chasing all the time. It's not.
See, he used the ring chasing term.
I thought that was only a basketball.
That was only a basketball term.
Only LeBron James did that.
The Sixers can ring chase. They got LeBron. You ring chase when you have LeBron. Bryce Harper is not LeBron James, boys.
Jeff, for this deadline, Dave Dombrowski has taken a lot of heat at different deadlines. Last year, he did go out and get Joan Duran, who has been exceptional for you this year. He's been unbelievable. I know he had the tough night the other night against the Marlins. But he's been criticized for deadlines in the past. Is this a make or break deadline for Dave Dombrowski, especially when in the back of your mind you're thinking about, these guys are getting older, as well as there's a lockout coming, so how much longer do we have with this core? Is this make or break for him?
In a way it is. And look, I thought he had a good deadline last year. I mean, Harrison Bader was great for them. He was the spark they needed. Johan Duran, you're seeing what he's doing. Even 2 years ago, right? You got Tanner Banks. Look, it was a minor move, but it was a good move. Carlos Estevez wasn't what you thought he was going to be, but he was okay. I think he helped your bullpen out. You needed him. But again, I think it goes back to the offseason, right? He doesn't address these needs in the offseason. He just thinks, fix it at the deadline. And I think that's why Phillies fans get so upset. But they overanalyze every deadline piece. I still say what Dave Dombrowski needs to do is shake up this roster. And I mean, like, Alec Boehm's a free agent. Maybe it's time to move on. Bryson Stott, maybe it's time to move on. You know, I like these guys, but they are what they are, right? You're platooning in all three areas of the outfield. Do you give up on Justin Crawford? I don't think so. Can you sell Brandon Marsh right now? I don't know. I thought his trade value would have been as high as, and I would have said don't trade a guy like that because he's young, but he is what he is, right, guys?
Yeah.
Is this really, Jeff, where Don Mattingly has to be able to kind of rise above everything and manage these personalities, manage this clubhouse in a very tumultuous time to where you just blew a 6-run lead, you got swept by the Marlins, you haven't won a series since the All-Star break, the trade deadline is in about 5 days from now. Is this really where Don Mattingly has to not just be the interim manager, but be the manager of this clubhouse?
He has to be the voice right now, I think. And look, whether he's going to be the manager after the year or not, I don't think he's going to be. I never really did. I always thought Dave Dombrowski wanted Alex Cora to be the manager of this team, and he couldn't get him. So Don's kind of getting them through the season. But yeah, Don. And look, I can see why Don Mattingly would be frustrated, despite the fact his son is the general manager of the team. Don Mattingly has played baseball at a high level. He's a borderline Hall of Famer, and some people think he should be in the Hall of Fame. It's hard. When you make these comments, and there were people in this clubhouse that made those comments last year, we would have had a guy that has been successful in Major League Baseball. Well, now you got one. guess what? He's going to fire back because he can say, "Oh, I was a better baseball player than you, and this is how I did it." I do think Don Mattingly kind of needs to get the troops together and say, "Hey, look, let's do the airing of grievances right now. Let's nip this in the bud." And I like what he said today. We're going to find out who we are. That is the key, right? He didn't say that he was worried about a tailspin, but he definitely acknowledged there is one, and it could be really bad right now. So I know a lot of people want to blame Dave Dombrowski. Fine. I'm okay with that. A lot of people want to blame Don Mattingly. Fine. I'm okay with that. Blame the players while you're at it, because they're the ones going out there and throwing the ball and catching the ball and trying to hit the ball.
Isn't it such a weird dynamic right now with Mattingly here? He hasn't been here long enough to get the frustrations of a Bryce Harper, of, you name them, where these past 3-4 seasons, this team has not been improved. Dombrowski has not really made that impact move that the fan base has been clamoring for. So, I could see both sides between Harper's frustrations, Mattingly kind of firing back. Very weird dynamic.
It is, right? And, I get Bryce Harper wants to play GM, but you're also paying $38 million to two guys who are not here. By the way, they're not anywhere. No one wants these guys. Nick Castellanos and Taijuan Walker. That's the problem. That's why you don't have any flexibility to make moves. You're paying all this money to Trey Turner. You're paying all this money to Bryce Harper. You didn't have to sign JT Realmuto. You did. That's where my frustration would be if I was Bryce Harper. Like, okay, I get you're trying to win, but we're signing the wrong people here, right? We're building a team around pitching, but we're not winning these games because look, Bryce Harper is right. They haven't had a right-handed bat really since Rhys Hoskins, if we're going to be fair here. But what did they try to do to shake it up this year, right? You brought back Kyle Schwarber. That was great. That was the move you should have made. Maybe Bryce Harper won more, but when you're paying $38 million to two guys that aren't here and they're off the books after this year, maybe you could be better. But the problem is we're not even sure we're going to have baseball next year.
Yeah, you don't know if they're going to lock out. Who knows? Because I still think last year, Jeff, was really the last real shot they had to possibly win a World Series. Heading into this year, I just thought there was too many holes. Guys are a little bit older. You lost Ranger Suarez. You banked on Andrew Painter. Did not work out. And you probably should not have came into the season with Rob Thompson. I mean, you bring in Don Mattingly. You knew they were going to be calling for Don Mattingly. Now, all of a sudden, people are calling for Don Mattingly to be fired anyway. So, this is where you're at this point in the season. Just looking ahead down the stretch, you look at their starting rotation. And Wheeler, he struggled in his last start. I expect him to bounce back. Christopher Sanchez still probably could win the Cy Young, possibly, depending on what Mizorowski does, right? Jesus Luzardo, I know he was probably left in a little too long today, but has been relatively good for you the rest of the way. Nola, been much better as of late. But after that, I mean, you don't have another pitcher that you can really trust. And I know it's usually 3 for the postseason, but if you had another starter, you saw what the Dodgers did last year. They brought out their starting pitching out of the bullpen. That's how they won games. I think this is a good team. They're fine. They can get into the postseason, but they just can't compete with the likes of a Brewers team or a Dodgers team or even a Braves team at the moment, the way the Phillies have been playing. So it's like around the edges, they just don't have enough to compete with the high-level World Series contenders, in my estimation.
Yeah, I would agree with you, Nick. And look, I looked at it last year. I was like you. I'm like, okay, we're going to see how good the Dodgers are, and we're going to see how good the Phillies are. And look, if there was any team that was going to beat the Dodgers last year, it was the Phillies. The Phillies actually out-hit them and out-pitched them. They made the mental mistakes that cost them in that series. And I think the Dodgers have been in their heads ever since. Like, everybody's like, the Phillies never beat the Dodgers. I'm like, what are you talking about? They beat the Dodgers in the regular season in 2024 and 2025. Like,
owned them. Owned them.
Yeah, exactly. So when they lost game 1 at home and did not pitch Ranger Suarez, that was the game. To me, that was the game. They had to win game 1. If they won game 1, I think they win that series. I think they're in the World Series. And we're having a much different discussion about this baseball team as, well, where was the free fall? Not that the free fall was coming, right? But I'm with you, Nick. I think they blew it in 23. I still say they're chasing the ghost of 23, if we're going to be honest here. They had 3-2 lead. They had 2-0 lead, 3-2 lead, and they didn't get it done. And a lot of that core has remained. And it's unfortunate, right? And I don't think they're ever going to get over that. And a lot of people said they should have probably tore this thing up after 24. I don't agree with that, but It's hard to overcome collapses. Ask Andy Reid's Eagles in the 2000s. They were good every single year. They found a way to bounce back, but it is hard to win a championship. It is. And when you blow one, it's even harder.
Yeah, it's definitely harder. And you look at this team, it's like, yeah, they're in the mix. And I also wonder, Jeff, and you go back to last year's NLDS against the Dodgers, I mean, they made simple mistakes that cost them games. And they continue to do that this year, whether it's a base running mistake, whether it's a play in the field, an error, whatever it could be. That type of play, especially defensively and the baseball IQ side, I think has also hurt this team this year and last year. And it's something they never have overcome. And that's how you win championships. I think that's a factor into this whole equation too. Yes, the bats have gone cold. Yes, has the bullpen struggled at times in the postseason. But I think the baseball IQ side of this is partially and has a good amount to blame for the reason they haven't had success in the postseason.
I would agree, Nick. And look, this is another issue I have, and I'll just bring it up. I don't like Bryce Harper at first base. I never really did.
I'm like, with you on that. I had a whole theory on that, Kerr. I had a whole theory on that.
You paid this guy to be an outfielder, and I know he wants to go back. Why won't you let him go back? And then that way you can get a power hitting first. Oh, but all right. I'm just going to go on the tangent now.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff. Floor's yours.
Kyle Schwarber at DH clocks this whole thing up because JT Realmuto can't play DH, and neither can Bryce Harper and get their days off. By the way, they're in their mid-30s. So Bryce Harper's at first base. Now you don't have a right-handed power hitter who normally plays first base. Bryce Harper's on the outfield, so you're platooning everybody in the outfield. JT Realmuto's a 35-year-old catcher who's great with pitchers, but he can't hit anymore. Does it really surprise you that they go in these long funks with all these, like, there's so many square pegs and round holes right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Trey Turner's shortstop. I didn't even get there yet.
Listen, we
Trey
could go
Turner
on.
was your DH today.
Yeah. We could go another 45 minutes.
They got Edmundo Sosa playing all over the place. They don't have their finger on that.
By the way, Edmundo Sosa cost him a game last week because he's playing left field, playing all the way back, takes a step back. Trey Turner almost makes an amazing catch. And Don Magley's right. It was almost an amazing catch. And they're blaming Turner for it. I'm like, you guys do know as an outfielder, someone who played outfield, that is on Edmundo Sosa.
Right. He's playing third base yesterday, shortstop today, outfield last week.
It's the season that
should
seems
be the
like
shortstop of this team, and I think he will be after this season if he's still here.
Yeah, but I think I'm with you, Kerr. I think at some point you got to cut the cord with some of these guys, whether it's a Realmuto, they didn't do that last year, a Stott, a Bohm. You have to change something, and they keep bringing back the same guys, and then they're losing other pieces on top of it. So it's a recipe for a core to start going down the other way.
I'll tell you what the other thing is, Nick, and you mentioned this earlier, right? You banked on Andrew Painter. Didn't work out.
Yep.
He's young. You banked on Justin Crawford. He's been okay, but that's what you expected. You banked on Otto Kemp, who, and again, they had every right to be bullish on Otto Kemp, but Otto Kemp couldn't pinch hit for you. So that was a problem. Now Brian De La Cruz is up, and Derek Hill's here. Derek Hill.
Rincones, another one.
Yeah, Rincones, right? Now he don't even play anymore. So, and you're putting them in situations where everybody likes to blame, they think of these guys as the next Don Brown. Maybe you might want to look at the organization before you look at the play.
Yep. There you go. Jeff Kerr at Jeff Kerr PHL on the Twitter X platform does a great job, not just covering the Phillies, but the Eagles as well. Jeff, that was a lot of fun for Phillies fastball today. Glad you could jump on and we could talk a little bit. Last time I saw Jeff was at the All-Star Village. It was high vibes at that point, and now look at where we're at. Thanks,
we
Jeff.
were high-fiving because we were at the All-Star Village, Nick. It definitely wasn't for how the baseball team was playing.
Absolutely. Jeff, thanks so much, man. Appreciate you as always.
See you, Nick.
Hey,
See you,
Jeff.
Pete.
All right. Today's Phillies Fastball was brought to you by Vetnor Social, where we're at today. It's the place to go to catch every Phillies game on their 20 big screen TVs while enjoying great food and drinks. Visit their Facebook page for up-to-date info, specials, plus the sports guys from Lakeville, broadcasting live on location on Vetnor Ave in Vetnor. We're getting close to that time as people are signing up, qualifying for the Camden Yards giveaway. Phillies and Orioles this weekend. You could be the lucky one to win a trip to go see. That could be Sanchez, Wheeler. Hopefully you see the Phillies get back on track. On the other side, we will talk a little more Sixers and get back into the mix about our text board question. Who is the X factor for the 76ers this upcoming season? I am Nick Earnshaw alongside Pete G. Josh heading back in the studio, filling in for Mike Gill on the Sports Bash, live from Vetnor Social right here on 97.3 ESPN.
You're listening to the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app. we have the perfect solution for sitting in traffic.
Come with me.
The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
All right, coming down the home stretch here on a Wednesday afternoon. Nick Kershaw, Nicky Nuggets, alongside Patriots filling in for Mike Gill today. Josh Henning back at the studio. We are live from Vetnor Social, and we're getting closer and closer to that time to pick the winner of the Camden Yards bus trip to see the Phillies and the Orioles this coming weekend. So time is ticking. We'll give that out later on in the show, who the winner is, so stay tuned for that. And if you're just getting off work, whatever it may be, come on down to Vetnor Social. Great drinks, great food, the whole shebang on Vetnor Ave in Vetnor. Come on down to Vetnor Social. I did talk about before the break that the Sixers, a big story came out earlier today from Dave McMenamin of ESPN.com. And talking about how this whole LeBron situation kind of transpired and him coming to the Sixers and all that good stuff. And we had a text board question throughout the day at 609-403-0973 on the White Horse RV text line, was that who is your X factor heading in next year? Is it LeBron? Is it Jaylen Brown? Is it Maxey? Is it Joel Embiid? Is it someone off the bench? Who could it be? I wanted to hear from you because there's so many different talented players, superstars on this team. Who's going to be the biggest X factor to make this whole thing work? And we got a couple of texts on the text board chiming in on this one. Is no name to it, but they say, I think the X factor is going to be the coach. He's in a challenging situation with having so much talent on this team. Hopefully the players make this team work as a unit. I think that's a great one, to say the least.
Yeah, Nick Nurse has a lot of mouths to feed, as they say. And, one guy I'm kind of interested into how he meshes is Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
Right? Because he came here before LeBron James did. He was the guy who kind of was jettisoned by the Celtics. He had a great year last year, finals MVP. We all know that. But and Jaylen's going to be here for the long haul. LeBron, this could be just a 2-year stop for him. We don't know. But Jaylen's here for the long haul. So I really would like Nick Nurse and the players around him to really maybe not cater to Jaylen, but make sure he's comfortable, give him the opportunities needed for him to succeed here.
Yeah, he's the new guy, right?
He's
like
the new
LeBron
guy.
is the new guy too, but LeBron has gone into situations like this and had to fill different roles, played on super teams, whether it was the Miami Heat or play with superstars in Cleveland like Kyrie, Kevin Love, the Lakers, AD, Luka Doncic. He's been around the block before and done this whole charade. Jaylen Brown was traded, didn't really want to be traded. Put it that way. This is new to him. So it's a new roster. It's his division rival, a team that he's played in the playoffs years and years and years. So this is new to him. You want to make sure he is feeling comfortable out there and is allowed to do what he is able to do best, which is score, defend the perimeter, etc. So, yeah, I think you make a good point there, Pete. Jaylen Brown is going to be a massive – they're all going to be X factors, but I think he's going to take the cake because I think LeBron can facilitate. Maxey can play off the ball, shoot the three. I'm very curious to see Edgecombe's role. Does he improve his three-point shot? Because if he does, oh, man, that's going to be unbelievable if he's able to do that this year. And then Joel Embiid. What's the health look like? How does he fit into the offense? Do you just let Joel be Joel some nights? How do you make it work with so many guys who are so quick to push in the pace and quick in transition? That's going to be very curious to see. But I think Edgecombe, what happens with his three-point shot? Because we know that was a point of contention now heading into this season, something he talked about he wants to work on. And if he's able to elevate his three-point game, man, oh, man, the things that can happen with this offense are unfathomable.
Yeah, you don't want to really stunt his growth, but it might happen anyway just because LeBron's here and there's so many other guys to get the ball before him. Yep. So that might just happen as collateral damage. I
think the texter brings up a great point about Nick Nurse. Remember, he's got to set all the rotations. how is he going to set all the rotations? Because all 5 guys are not going to be on the floor all year long, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how does he mix and match an Edgecombe and maybe a Maxey on the floor together with a Dean Wade, etc., Huck Porty? How does Dominic Barlow's role elevate? Is he that backup center that could possibly be the guy behind Joel Embiid? Because he could play some stretch 5 if he needs to. So I'm curious to see at the rotations that Nick Nurse comes out with. So I think Nick Nurse is a great point.
Which means a guy like Philon, where before the LeBron signing, you thought could have a meaningful role on this team.
Yeah.
Now with the signings of Simons and KCP, don't forget.
Well,
I think a guy like Philon might just be like a little redshirt year for him, where you don't have to rely on him as much.
You mentioned
He can take his time.
KCP. You mentioned KCP. You look at some of his numbers. Listen, in the past, he was a phenomenal 3-point shooter. He just was.
Oh, Denver, that was a great run for him on Denver.
Over the past couple of years, remember, he is 33 years of age now. He's a little up there in age, only played 51 total games last year with the Memphis Grizzlies, got the buyout from them, only started in 14, but he only shot the 3.4 attempts per game. He also only shot 32% from 3, so his numbers were down. The defense is what
albeit on a bad team.
Yes, and I'm excited more so for his defense. He'll probably be like a 9th or 10th option off of the bench. So I'm curious to see how they utilize him.
Nurse goes to guys like KCP and Simons over like a Philon. Probably,
I think
right?
so. Yeah. I mean, you saw it with Jared McCain. Remember last year?
Right.
He didn't go to Jared McCain a lot.
That's his MO, right? That's Nurse's MO. He doesn't like to play the young guys all that much.
I think you're going to see Philon mixed into this whole entire equation because I think he's just going to show he's so talented. They're going to have to get him involved somehow, some way, and they're going to have to give Maxey time off. They're going to have to give Edgecombe time off because you don't want those guys being gassed by the time you get to the postseason like it was this year. Those guys were just absolutely gassed, done, burnt out, done. So you don't want that to happen.
I think part of the reason why things will be a little bit different as well this year is not just because you added LeBron James and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
You also added Dean Wade and Anthony Simons. You added 2 legitimate guys who could come off the bench. And listen, you don't have to worry about bringing in some random no-name that everyone's like, why is this guy playing? Why is this or sign Campaign on August 1st again or whatever? March 1st. Like, now you have legitimate guys coming off the bench. You don't have Kyle Lowry taking up a roster spot anymore. So to me, I think what gets overlooked about this is that there's also other guys that Nick Nurse can go to. And guys, I don't know how you feel, but I always ask the question, how much of what we saw the last 2 years was Nick Nurse having to make do with Daryl Morey's roster versus the front office giving Nick Nurse what he wanted?
That is absolutely part of the equation, Josh. And remember, I think Nick Nurse, listen, there's things you can criticize him about, etc. Fine. But he was also dealt a really tough hand. Joel Embiid's in and out of the lineup. Paul George barely plays. So, I mean, he's playing with different guys in and out of the lineup, and those contracts are hogging up all the space on the roster. Who the heck is he going to put out there anyway? So I think your point there, Josh, is very valid because, I mean, he had a different lineup every night. Paul George was suspended, and Embiid's in and out playing barely 30 to 40 games a year. So that he was dealt a tough hand. Now he's got all the hand in the world. I mean,
and now he's got LeBron James, who's basically a head coach on the floor.
Well,
not to mention Jaylen Brown, who his basketball IQ is very high as well.
That, and he's got probably the deepest bench he's had since he became the Sixers head coach, and he can mix and match guys in and out of the lineup. I mean, there's just so much depth on this team. When you have a starting 5 of that caliber, you're in good shape. You're in very good shape. Remember, Nick Nurse had all those kind of, I mean, they weren't like this team, just absolute superstars, but he had a lot of personalities in Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol getting traded midseason when he won the title in 2019 with the Toronto Raptors. So that's he's got experience dealing with a bunch of different personalities to go win a championship. So I think he's the perfect coach for this type of situation. And listen, you got veterans in Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, and Tyrese Maxey is already levels ahead for his age.
And Jaylen Brown, he played 71 games last year.
Yeah.
So he's very durable. You don't have to worry about him missing 20, 30 games this coming season. So as long as you have Jaylen Brown out there for you every game, Maxey will play 65, 70 games as well. VJ, he's a young buck. He can play 65, 70, 75 games for you. Those three guys, that's really the core, right?
Yep.
LeBron, again, maybe a 2-year stop, end of the road for him. Joel Embiid, can't really rely on him to play, all that much in the regular season. So really the core, the nucleus, is Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, and VJ Edgecombe. That's the vision.
609-403-0973. Ray in EHT. We love Ray. He says, my X factor is it's Maxey's team. They're always going to build around Maxey from here on out. So you're going to need 3 guys to score, Brown, Maxey, and Edgecombe. And then you're going to need LeBron and Joel for half-court defense, basically, or have a slow setup offense. I think LeBron, though, is going to run the point, okay? And that's been reported by Shams and multiple other outlets that he's going to be the guy to kind of facilitate the whole entire offense.
Which means Maxey off the ball. Which is a good thing.
What we talked about. I'm cool with Maxey being off the ball. I mean, let him relax a little bit, too. I mean, the guy played the most minutes in the National Basketball Association last year. Let him relax a little bit. So I'm cool with LeBron facilitating. And listen, LeBron's 41 years of age. I don't need him going out there every single night playing tough defense, and he's taking off defense his entire career.
And
by the way.
and you know what?
But
those days of him playing like
side
to side perimeter defense, they're probably behind him, right? I mean, so
Yep. All right, JW in Ocean City said the only answer to today's question is Nick Nurse. You can give anyone the ingredients, but it takes a great chef to make the meal taste great.
All right. I mean, you could go either way with that.
I think he's right.
Yeah.
You have all the ingredients of something fantastic here. I mean, we are championship or bust at this point with the amount of talent that's on this team. But Nick Nurse, he's got to have the right rotations. He's got to figure it out with this entire lineup on how it's all going to work.
That's the old Jalen Hurts, playbook. I want these plays, not these plays.
But sports history is full of instances where one coach couldn't get it done, but the next coach did. Del Harris didn't win champion with the Lakers. It was Phil Jackson. It wasn't Rick Carlisle in Detroit. It was Larry Brown. There's all kinds of examples of one coach can't get it done. The next guy comes in and he gets it done. So I think for Philadelphia, yes, there is a big cloud hanging. Nick Nurse said, hey, we handed you the pieces. Can you get it done? If not, you're out. We'll bring somebody else in.
Yep, the pressure is on. That is certainly the case. 609-403.
Yeah, look at
0973.
Henning's right. I mean, Tom Thibodeau, recent example.
Yep.
He gets fired by
Mike
the Knicks.
Woodson.
Mike Woodson comes in and they win the NBA championship.
Mike Brown, sorry.
Mike Brown. Yeah, you got me saying Mike
I know,
Woodson.
so I said
Mike Woodson's like 15 years ago, Nick.
I know. Wow. I don't even know where that came from.
The guy got
Mike
fired.
Woodson. Yeah, there you go. Mike Brown. With the New York Knicks. I mean, listen, after that championship, things have changed in the East. And I heard our buddy Evan Cohen, he's still not giving the Sixers this year yet. Like he had the Knicks won.
Okay.
I think he was on First Take yesterday and he said this. It was the Knicks won. He had the Pacers too. His point was everyone's kind of forgetting about the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton coming back. He has them too, and then everybody else. He thinks I would assume the Sixers are going to be a little bit slow to start.
I mean, I don't see it. I think with the addition of, again, Jaylen Brown, who's just going to play every game for you, I just don't see it.
I just want people to remember the Miami Heat got off to like a 500 start when they had the big three of Bosh, Wade, LeBron, the whole nine. Now they ended up in the finals, lost that first year, but then won the second year. 609-403-0973.
I was going to say the only difference, though, between, and I was saying this weekend on Hanging with Hennig, is that the team in Miami was a bunch of alphas in their primes, and none of them had ever been in that situation before.
Yep.
Now
LeBron's just a glue guy now. I mean, he's a guy who's just going to elevate you. He doesn't have to be the primary guy.
No, and
don't
by
need
the
him
way,
to be.
Jaylen Brown played on a team with a bunch of other star players, and Joel Embiid has been on Team USA with other star players. So I think it's a little different this time. I do agree. I don't think they're starting to go as slow of a start as other people are saying they are.
No, and I think you bring up a point.
I think they're going to come up guns a-blazing. Man.
Tyrese Maxey and LeBron have worked out together for 5+ years. Joel Embiid and LeBron James played together on Team USA. Jaylen Brown has won a championship. I mean, what's not to be excited about? Oh, the 76ers are back, baby. They are back. 609-403-0973. Get your final text in on the 76ers. We are live at Vetnor Social, about to give away the Camden Yards giveaway, the bus trip, Phillies and Orioles this weekend. We'll have our winner. We'll announce it on the other side. I am Nick Earnshaw. That's Pete G. Josh Henning back at the studio, filling in for Mike Gill on the Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN.
You're listening to The Sports Bash with Mike Gill on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
We're back live at Vetnor Social. This is the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. Nikki Earnshaw, Nikki Nuggets, whatever the heck you want to call me, alongside Pete G. Josh Henning back at the studio, having a blast. Phils, they fall to the Marlins today 8-6, but we're giving away an awesome prize, a trip to Baltimore this weekend. A nice, fun road trip to see the Titans bounce back against the Orioles. Sanchez is pitching on Saturday, Wheeler on Sunday. So a nice road trip. We are giving away. It seems like the interns and promotions gen are about to announce the winner.
Somebody's getting lucky. Someone's going to be more.
Is going to absolutely have a blast this weekend watching some great baseball. The Orioles, they've struggled a little bit, so it would be a great time for the Titans to get back on track. And I think we have a winner, if I'm not mistaken. Guys, do we have a winner? I don't know if they heard me.
Will, do we have a winner?
Do we have a winner? Oh, Glenn Donahue is our winner for the Camden Yards trip. You are going to have an absolute blast down there because Camden Yards is one of the best places to watch a baseball game.
There's never
You're
been.
going to love it. Oh, there you go. He said his son got a picture with Dylan Cease for the listening audience out there. Thanks to everyone to tune in today. We had an absolute blast.
I do have something to end the show with.
Yeah, what do you want to say?
Jaylen Brown's latest tweet, what was lost will be recovered. Tweeted that at 5:22 p.m. today. Not sure what he's referring to.
I think it's to the Boston Celtics.
Is it a Jason Tatum dig?
I think so.
Is it a Phillies Blues 6-run lead today? They're going to recover on Friday against the Orioles.
Against the Orioles. You got a 3-game set coming up.
It could mean anything.
Could mean anything. Man, I can't wait for the 76ers season to start.
I can't wait for these cryptic tweets to start coming out.
I know.
From LeBron, from Jalen. Let's go.
Get ready. Get ready. The 76ers have LeBron James. That's how we started the show. That's how we'll end the show. What did Mike Gansey say? Babe, we got LeBron. All right?
That's a little different than, babe, we got Paul George.
Yeah, it's a lot different. Thanks to everyone tuning in. Thanks to Josh Henning back in the studio. Vetnor Social for having us out here. Congrats to Glenn, who won the Camden Yards bus trip down to Phillies and Orioles. I'm Nick Earnshaw. Talk to you soon.